Hello and welcome to another edition of the First Division podcast. It's your host Steve, and I'm back with another episode with my main man Drew. How's it going, man?
Good man, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, what is before we jump into it, man? Have you any kind of interesting stories, or what is the kind of the latest topic that's going on lately in the news, or something that you've read?
Well, gold and silver is down a lot. That's like a big thing right now because dang dude, it was at like 2050, and then silver was up to almost $28. Now it's down, silver's down to $23, and gold is like 1850 or something. But that's because the bankers got in trouble for manipulation because all the markets are manipulated. And when you can tell because when they all kind of crash similar or close to each other.
Right.
And but gold and silver is real money, and you can't manipulate it forever because it's true money. You can manipulate fiat money because you can print it, but you can't just make up gold and silver when you can only mine so much, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's what do they call it? They call it a like a limited resource, or like a what is it called?
They say that, but I don't
Yeah,
know if that's true. But I've heard both sides from what I've been researching. One side says that there is a limited amount, there's limited amount of silver compared to gold, and there's a lot of gold in the center of the earth, but they can't get to that. So I guess that wouldn't even be a factor. But the fact for the silver, gold is really like wealth, and then silver is like a trading and a commodity because silver they use in like batteries, everything almost. This guy was saying you could take apart your TV and have 2 ounces of silver.
I'm sure. I'm sure. And they also used to mint U.S. coins with silver as well. I
They
mean,
still do. But oh yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you can buy the 1 ounce silver rounds now that are 1 ounce, but
yeah.
I don't buy American. I buy Canadian because it's 4 nines. The the American silver is 3 nines, and it's like I don't care. I know I'm an American,
Sure.
but it's like I want more silver for my money, or the pure or the prettier silver. Like why would I be paying for less? I don't care if it's American. That's stupid.
No, it doesn't matter as long as it has at least more silver in coins or in general, right?
But the crazy thing is they're similar in spot price. Like American Eagle will get a little bit more than a Canadian one, even though it has less silver. It's insane, but it just makes sense because it's in America. If you went to Canada, you probably get more,
Sure. Do you think
but
that
you
it has?
still get a good amount. You know, they're close, they're similar. It's not
But
far off.
do you think it has something to do with the paper currency that Canadian dollars are possibly worth less than on the like forex trade exchange rather than like for example the U.S. dollars?
That's
Do
a
you think
really
that?
good point.
Yeah.
I thought what I was thinking. I thought that it was just because it's um, an American 1 ounce round, and you're in America. That's what I was thinking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what I was thinking, but you have a good point. It could be that. But I think isn't I don't know if the Canadian dollar is as strong. I know the British pound is more than the US dollar. But I
Yeah,
don't know. Canadian
yeah,
is less, I think, huh?
I think so. A little bit less. So that's what I was kind of
That
thinking
would
that
make
like
sense. I understand what you're saying.
yeah, like if you bought like for example a silver coin, but it was an English coin or a British coin, and then because it's backed, I guess, by the British pound, then that's would be worth more because of that. I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
how it works. Yeah,
Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense.
because the coin itself is worth more because it has like the British pound symbol on it, I guess you would say.
And it's from their government.
Right, exactly.
But I think all in all, it doesn't. All these people are fools because all in all, it doesn't matter. It's really just you don't really like. Yeah, it's cool to get all excited, and I don't watch the prices every day. I was into it for a little bit, but you realize like it's just a game, and you're really putting in your money just to protect it. It's a riskless asset, so there's no reason to get all involved and then be selling and trading and doing all that until you really had to.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now,
Well,
how
these
does it
guys are
work?
all weird about it.
How does it work? Like, if you're trading in gold and silver, like, do you get a piece of paper that you own a certain amount of gold or silver, or do you
No,
actually,
you have to own
you,
it yourself.
you
If you don't own it, you don't hold it, or you
yeah,
don't
so
hold it, you don't own it. I'm sorry.
yeah, so like you actually have to have the gold in your possession, or
Yeah, because think about if the banks and all that fail and they give you a paper thing saying they're holding it for you, they're not going to give that to you if everything fails. They're going to take that from you. It's theirs. You
That's a
stored
good
it
point.
there, you messed up, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good
And
point.
it's crazy though, like that's what they all say, and that's that guy William Cooper. He always said that constitutional money, which is 90% silver, because it's always recognizable to anybody. Like if you were to go sell it, or anybody pretty much knows that coin, you know. But you need to know
Sure.
the difference between 90% and 40, because in 1964 or 1965 and above is only 40% silver. Anything below is 90. So you want all
Yeah,
constitutional silver.
yeah. I think I have a couple of I have a couple silver coins from 1922 and 1944. I have a couple of silver coins,
Yeah,
and
save those.
yeah, yeah. I'm saving those, and the you could tell they're silver because one, the way it oxidizes, it turns
Yeah.
and then second, the way it sounds if you drop it,
And the weight though, the weight is 10
the
times
way
heavier than a garbage copper coin that we get now.
and nickel, yeah, copper and
Yeah,
nickel.
yeah.
Yeah, you can really tell the difference in your hand as well. It feels heavier
You know
than
how you can
normal.
always tell though? You can put a roll together, look at them sideways, and if the seam is silver all the way around, like you know what I'm talking about, how you look at it on the side, the
The
small side,
ridge,
yeah, the ridge.
yeah,
If it's all silver and it's not half brown and then silver. If it's all silver, it's 90%. The other one's 40.
right, because it shouldn't be oxid or
Rusting or whatever, being
yeah,
all
it
gross
shouldn't be
like that.
rustic. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Crazy, huh?
It is kind of crazy. It's kind of interesting once you like kind of get into it and uh
Well, one more real fact, a good point is if they ever were to take your gold and silver and you can only turn in a certain amount, or they ever put restrictions on it, you
uh-huh.
want constitutional money because in the Fed's like regime or whatever that stupid shit is, it says you can only turn in like a couple bars of gold, which only equals like a couple $1,000s, say at this point in time. If it were to be now, you can only do a couple silver bars or like 10 silver bars, and then you can only do a certain amount of coins, like silver rounds. You can do the most in constitutional money in one day. You can do $22,000.
Wow,
The other
that's a
ones
lot.
are way less, or like 10,000 or less or something.
Yeah, sure.
So if you ever, you know what I mean, you needed $22,000, you need to do it one day, and you need to get around getting taxed, and it's
Right.
illegal because they have to. When you go, say you sell it to a coin, unless you trade with somebody, if you
Mhm.
unless you go sell it to a coin shop to get the cash, whatever it is at that time, or
For
whatever, or
sure.
crypto or whatever,
Right.
like they, what was I going to say? They have to file a tax or a income tax thing saying that you did all that, so then it gets tracked. But if you do it under a certain amount and under those guidelines, then you don't have to do any of that.
That makes sense because because I think they would charge it as an income tax basically because I think so because it's your coin and you're selling it so that that business has to give you that profit so that they're paying you, right? So I guess that becomes income. I'm
Unless
not
it's
sure.
over or under a certain amount, just
Right.
like anything else, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
Whatever the
which I don't know how, like, you can put in under $10,000 a day or something in the bank. Like I don't even understand how people, unless you're like super rich and have like super expensive shit, like I don't understand how you couldn't live off of that.
You mean like if you set like your limit of only putting $10,000 in the bank?
Yeah, say you make bank. Well, I'm just saying, like, even if you got up to making that a day, like that's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. I would never even rely on the bank if I made that much money. I would only
Well,
put so much, you know.
yeah, exactly. I'm assuming if you're making like $10,000 a day or more, you're probably gonna have like a different type of. You're not gonna just go down to your local bank. You're probably gonna have a different type of banking setup, you know?
Maybe, but most people they just have like Bank of America or even these rich guys, Wells Fargo and stuff like that. But like I said, most of them own what I've realized from all these guys, like these CEOs. I don't care about being rich, dude. I just want to protect my future. That's it, you know, or
Yeah,
being able to have like food and water and shelter. That's like the main things. These other
right.
guys care about being rich and all on these shows and all that. I don't care about that. I just gain all this information from them. But it's like I don't know, dude. You got to be careful of all that stuff. And it's crazy. in the Bible or whatever, or just related to what silver relates to. It relates to truth, and then like gold is wealth and stuff like that. It's crazy.
So what got you into like numismatics? You know.
Nothing. They're not numismatics. I got out of that. I almost got fucked over because I was listening to that William Cooper, and
Yeah.
I didn't listen to enough. I was listening to his old videos when he was backing that company that I went through because I didn't know who else to go through, so I went through
Sure.
them. But
Yeah.
then later, after I go through them, I find a tape where he doesn't mess with them anymore, and they did some kind of weird stuff. And he's like, "Well, I can't put my my reputation on the line, and I can't. I'm not like that, so I won't." They wanted to sponsor a Freemason guy. They wanted to sponsor a guy on the total opposite side of William Cooper and sponsor him too. How does that even make sense?
That doesn't even make logical sense in that
They were
way.
trying to make logical sense of it. So I never heard that thing after until I messed with them. Well, they sold me on numismatic coins.
Yeah,
And
numismatic.
thank God, dude, someone was looking out for me because I spent 18 grand, dude. I spent all my unemployment to save to save a good chunk of change. And I bought a bunch of gold. But then I was like, no, this doesn't sound right. Like these pieces aren't even 100 or 99% gold. I'm getting 90%, 10%, and they're small pieces and they're numismatic, which means you really want, like, if you go to sell it at a time, no one gives a shit about a numismatic or if it's a special date. They're gonna care about the content of the gold and how much you got or whatever.
Right,
So
exactly.
yeah, so these guys are trying to sell me, oh, it's numismatics because if the government ever fucking tries to take it, then you can turn in numismatics, which is somewhat true, but who even knows then? And not even that, they don't go up in value, dude. They stay the same. So even if the spot price goes up for gold or whatever you got it in,
Yeah.
dude, you barely make money on that shit. Like the company will buy it back for more, but I don't want to be stuck with them. Like I'm not trying to
Sure.
send my gold to Arizona, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the guy that I went through, dude, it's crazy. The guy that I went through, I just had a weird feeling about him. He was cool at first, but then he started getting all kind of weird. And then because I was buying more and more or whatever. And when I
right.
wanted it in the contract, I saw you have 14 days. If you're not cool with it, you can send it back and get whatever you want. Well, this guy hassled me and was like, oh, I got to find out if it's cool. I'm like, all right, you want to play that game? Okay. So I'll call back and I talk to the supervisor and he ends up changing it over and changing it for me and I get what I want. It took like
Yeah.
a month. But then the fact is, I asked for 2020 gold maple leaves and this fool gave me, dude, you there?
Yeah, yeah. I'm listening. I'm listening.
Oh, sorry, the
Yeah, yeah.
thing went off, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
He gave I asked for 2020 maple leaves, and he's all cool and everything. And this is how the company is kind of weird. So then they send me 1997 gold maple leaves, but that's not what I ordered. It's not a big deal because it's the same thing. They're just older, but it's
Sure.
like I didn't even get what I ordered.
Well, that's the principle, right? At least you want to get what you ordered, regardless if it's older or not. You want to whatever you put in your order, the order should have been like resolved or solved in that way, right? To make you
That's
happy.
weird, right?
That's pretty sketch.
I just left it alone. I didn't say anything after that, and I'm not going to mess with them again. And that's just what it is.
What do you think drives the value of why is gold more valuable than silver anyway? If they're like precious metals
I
anyway.
supposedly there's less of it, but I think it's I don't think that. I think it's because what I think is because and what I've learned is that gold you don't really use it for much. The only thing they really use it for is like jewelry and stuff like that, but they don't use it in like everyday life or construction or commodities or whatever, you know? So
They
silver
say
is more of a manufacturing thing compared to like gold. It makes sense. It just saves your wealth. Like people, you just see it, dude, and it shines and it, it's worth something. It's not just
yeah,
paper, dude.
isn't that interesting that we give value to things that are shiny? That's kind of interesting, right? The things that are most shiny, we give most like value to, and if it's not shiny, we don't give it any sort of value unless it's like oxidized silver or something like that. But usually,
Yeah.
unless things are not shiny, we don't really put any sort of value to these types of things. It's really interesting.
Well, the other thing is too, the main reason I get it too is whether you I'm not saying you, I'm just saying in period for anybody listening, whether you believe in God or not, whoever created the earth, I believe in God, but I'm saying it's God's money, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So whoever made the earth, or for me, God, but I'm
yeah,
saying
sure.
it's a person that made it. It was came with the earth. So why wouldn't you be using something made from the earth, not something that you print and make up? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, gold is found on Earth, right? That's
Right.
what's
You can
yeah.
mine for it.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That's a good point that you brought up about gold, because gold isn't really, it's not really used for anything. Like you said, like it's not really a useful. I don't think it's. I don't think you can make electricity from it. I don't think it's a good conductor of electricity. It's not good to make homes with it, or
It's soft when it's like pure, 100% pure. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you gotta be
it
careful. It'll dent and scratch easy.
yeah, exactly. It's not really durable or anything like that. Copper is much better, or stainless steel is much better. But then see, then you go, there you go, right? Because you talk about stainless steel or copper or aluminum, but those are not as, I mean, they're expensive, but not as, they're not worth anything as far as if you're going to trade in those types of metals, right? You don't want to be,
Right.
yeah, we don't have, it doesn't have that type of value. That's what's always fascinating
Well, they
about,
have platinum and palladium out now too. I'm not gonna mess with any of those, but
they make rings out of those. I saw those. We were,
palladium they do.
yeah, palladium
Are they
and
pretty?
platinum. Yeah, they're really shiny. They're really nice. They're really nice. They're nice to look at. Uh they're expensive. I don't know why they're expensive,
More
but
than gold and silver. Yeah, that's what doesn't make sense.
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, and even now I understand that it would be more expensive than, for example, that gold, rose gold or pink gold,
Yeah.
because that's an alloy, right? That's gold mixed with silver, I think it is. Yeah, or it's anyway, I think it's two types of metals put together. So it's not a, so of course, so it's going to be worth more. But as far as being more expensive than gold and silver, I don't understand that.
Maybe they just try to play the game to where they don't want you to think gold and silver are valuable, and if you only do your research, you know. Because that's why all the bankers and all these fools stack that stuff. All the rich people of the world, they have tons of it.
Yeah, sure. And supposedly, I mean, if it's true or not, I don't know. But like that's why in Fort Knox in Kentucky, that's supposedly there's a like a whole bunch of gold bars locked there. So I understand why.
That's what I'm saying. These guys have tons of like trillions of tons or hundreds of tons, millions of tons of it. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Have you ever seen that show about the it's on the History Channel where these guys they're hunting for gold in the Philippines, I think. And
No.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's true or real. I know it's a show, but it's kind of cool. Like these guys, they're like, I don't know, construction guys or something like that, and or explorer guys or hunters. I don't know. It doesn't matter. And they were they found some kind of maps about this lost gold that the Japanese, I think the Japanese emperor hid when Japan invaded the Philippines during World War II. I guess apparently he hid a bunch of gold in these caves in the sides of these mountains, and these guys are kind of hunting for it in the mountains. And it's really
What?
crazy. If the show is, I don't know if the show is just like acting, most of it's acting, but I don't know if the action around it is real. But apparently when they get closer to digging in like these correct spots, these sketchy looking helicopters fly around them and spy on them and take photos, and then they get kicked out of the country, and then it's really hard to get back into the country so that they can keep digging. And I don't know, it's kind of interesting
Well,
show.
yeah. How come the government doesn't take it then if they know that it's there?
Yeah, exactly. That was my biggest question, right? I mean, if there's so much gold there, why doesn't the government just take it for themselves, and then or or just confiscate it?
Yeah, maybe there's something else going on.
Maybe there's, I don't know, something deeper than just gold. Maybe there's
Yeah, that's
something,
what I mean.
yeah, something
I don't know.
illegal behind the scenes. But
Mhm.
how come, for example, palladium doesn't get traded on Forex or something like that, like on a precious metals market, or does it?
I think it does. It's on
It
the
does.
it's on the market.
Yeah, it's in the, I didn't know that.
I think it's $938 an ounce.
That's expensive.
Platinum's the most, dude. It's like $2,000, and it's more than gold. It's crazy.
Yeah, but then that's the thing, right? I mean, is it worth it to get involved in that, like
I
investing
wouldn't.
in palladium?
I've never heard anybody talk about palladium or platinum till now. So
Yeah, and nobody's really talking about it. Like investors are not even talking about it.
I heard about it probably 15 years ago when I was first getting tattooed. The guy that used to tattoo me, he lived in Lancaster. He was from New York. He was kind of gangster and got jewelry and stuff and was into all that. And he had a platinum necklace, like a sick, thick platinum one. And that was like the first time that I ever really heard of it.
Platinum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard of platinum too, but I heard of platinum in a different way, like not in jewelry wise, but you know when Dr. Dre had it was at the top of his rap game, you know, and they talk about they always talk about how his albums go triple platinum. That's how I learned about platinum.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So it's an award that you get, and it's based on album sales. So I think I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So apparently his album hit like such a high number of sales that they got him a platinum vinyl record kind of award to hang up in his studio. You know, that's kind of cool.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how
What does it go like? Silver, gold, platinum, and diamond?
something like that. Yeah, something like
Crazy.
that. I think
And
he probably has. I think he has a diamond award as well. To be honest,
diamonds aren't even valuable. That's crazy. We make them valuable, I'm saying.
that's what I think. I think yeah, we put the like humans put value on certain things and don't put enough value on other things. You know, that's really
Yeah,
interesting how we do that.
that's 100% true.
And I think that's the same. That's the same with like a lot of things, especially like with animals or with foods or with countries. Anything we give value to, certain things, and we devalue other things for I don't know what type of reasons. It's just human nature, to be honest.
I think people are desensitized.
I think so too. Or people are really conditioned about how like this is what we know is valuable. So we've always known it to be valuable. So it's always going to be like this, and this something is worth some worth amount of something, and we don't even question that.
Yeah, it's true.
Uh, I would say that we're definitely desensitized to a lot of things
Well, I will go with history, dude. Gold and silver have done nothing but been around.
always and everywhere throughout history and everywhere around the world there's been gold and silver.
And it's been used for money always and trading.
Always. I mean, look, there is and still lots of silver probably oh, in Mexico. There was lots of silver. There's lots of silver in uh, Nevada. Oh, there's lots of silver or there was lots of silver in Czech Republic or the Czech lands at that time. So, gold is in California. Gold is up in, or, there's gold everywhere. You can find gold and it's great. It will always be here.
That is true because it comes from the earth.
I wonder if palladium comes from some kind of like, does that come from the palladium or platinum? That comes from the earth too,
No, I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't even think of that.
Or does it come from like outer space or from dust or whatever?
From the asteroids.
Yeah,
That'd be something, huh?
that would be crazy.
But it'd be way more rare though, and probably way more expensive.
Well, for sure, but I don't think anybody's talking about collecting stardust and selling it.
You want a Stardust ring?
Yeah, come on, man. I'll hook
All
you
the
up.
bar to take it out of the package.
You got those weird guys with those trench coats, and hey, I'll hook you up with an asteroid ring, man.
How much?
He's like, I got you, bro. $2,000.
You're like, what?
Get out of here with that, man.
Yeah, you can fly to space with it.
he's like, yeah, you can go to the moon with this ring. Yeah, sure I can, man.
No, it crumbles as soon as you take it out of the package.
Yeah, it dissolves.
Turns to dust. Like, what the hell is this?
You try to wash your hands and
Oh yeah, it just lasts through until you wash your hands and it turns into mud or something.
yeah, exactly.
It's like this guy, dude.
Oh, dude.
It's like those guys that used to sell the speakers at out of their car when you would go to the beach or something.
Yeah.
And they pull up at the gas station like, "Hey man, I got this deal. I got a bunch of them." I remember I was all sketched out, but I remember Josh Ortiz, who's pretty somewhat intelligent. He bought one. I was like, "You're a fool, dude. Why would you buy some random? You know, I never even heard of the company."
Yeah, exactly. From some guy.
From some guy, we were at the beach and we used to go to the beach all the time, and he just pulled up on us when we were getting gas.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just I can't believe he bought it.
Yeah. Do you remember do you know Carlos Guerra?
Yeah.
Remember him? Yeah, yeah. There was a story about him where I think it was from him, I don't know. But he you know in LA that fashion district, that fashion area where you can buy like
Yeah.
10 t-shirts for like $1 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So he was walking, he told me this story. I think it was him, and he was walking through the streets, and with his parents and and they sell more than just fashion stuff. I think there was like a DVD player that was on sale, and he
Uh-huh.
had and he had like $10 in his pocket at the time, and he was like, and the guy was like, "Yeah, man, I'll sell you a DVD player for $10." So without checking it, right? I think when we were, he went there and he bought this DVD player, right? So he was like, "Oh, it's a really nice DVD player. It's nice and heavy, right?" Puts in his car. They get home, and they were like, "Oh, cool, Carlos, what did you buy?" And he's like, "Oh, I bought this new DVD player. Cool, let's open it up." He opens the box, dude, bricks, man.
No way.
Well, yeah, bricks.
Why didn't he check it? What the heck?
I don't know, man.
What the heck? That's his
Yeah,
fault.
I know, but I think we're just kids, and we're happy. You're happy to buy a DVD player for $10,
Dude, that's crazy. It was bricks. He didn't even open it
Bricks.
the whole way home until he got home.
No, yeah, he just saw I think it was like a nice, I don't know, Panasonic DVD player or something like that, and so he saw the picture and was like, "Oh, cool, it's gonna be awesome."
He just
Opens it,
he got excited.
yeah, yeah. So just bricks, dude.
Poor guy.
Yeah. So
Oh,
so he got out. He got took for $10, man.
damn.
Dude, at
Now, how
that
much
point,
was that back then, though?
well, when we were kids, I mean, any type of money we had was kind of a lot,
Yeah, you're right.
you know. I mean, I think $10 in your pocket was kind of a lot.
Well, that's just how much the dollar's gone down, dude. Everything's gone up.
The prices of things, man.
Yeah, retarded, huh?
Yeah. Well, what's happening too is like, okay, so the prices go up, but the problem is your livable wages don't go up. Do you know what I mean?
That's how they get you.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, that I heard that in California they were fighting. I think it's already passed, right? That not 15 $15 an hour. I think it is. Is that
Yeah,
minimum
but it
wage?
doesn't matter because what the fuck is that going to do? People can barely
Right.
afford anything right now, anyways.
Well, what the government probably did was they just like pegged it, meaning like, so if minimum wage was $7.25 or $8.75, whatever it is, and then the price of milk was, for example, at that level, right? So if you get $15 an hour, they're just gonna make the milk more expensive exponentially equal. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if you're making $15 an hour or $8 an hour. The prices are the ratio is the same. It's crazy.
But people don't realize it though,
Yeah, I know, that's what's scary, right?
because I didn't before. You're just thinking, oh, prices went up, but you didn't realize, well, the dollar then means it's going down, or the dollar is losing value
Right,
if
exactly.
prices are going up.
Right, exactly.
And now I
Or
know.
and that, or if, like, for example, another reason why prices go up too is because of that as well, and also because, like, for example, if you go to a shop, right, that shop has to pay rent. That shop has to uh, pay their costs too to keep in business, right? So they raise prices so that they can barely survive to make their rent and pay their employees money too. So that's another reason why prices go up as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like the business has to stay afloat. So I mean, and if you don't realize that, like, Man, you're in trouble with cash, man.
A lot of people. Damn, dude, that shit got me. I was sneezing.
Uh,
A lot of people don't know though. I'm telling you, dude.
yeah, exactly. It's not like I think what people were kind of hoping when people were thinking that like let's say milk was at that time $5 a gallon, right? So that's expensive, right? So if milk is $5 and you're making 7.25, man, I mean you worked 1 hour just to buy a gallon of milk and you have $1.25 left. That's not a lot. Plus you
No,
get taxed on top of that, right?
yeah.
So I think what people when they were like protesting to get $15 an hour or whatever it was or is, which is great, right? That's fine. That should be. But I think what they didn't assume, I think they thought those people thought that the price of milk would still stay at $5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, then they
And
get caught by surprise.
yeah, exactly. That the price of milk is now like $9, for example. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know if
It,
that's true, but I think that's what happened. I think it took people by surprise that the prices of consumer goods didn't go down when your wages went up. I think that was a big shock for people.
that's sad though, because well, it sucks because there's a guy that I watch every night. He's a school teacher, but he owns a bunch of businesses and he's rich and he only teaches because he wants to help the kids and let them know what's going on. And he said it's crazy now because these kids, I could tell them if you have $100 and I take 99 cents away, how much do you have? And he said most of them can't even answer the question.
If you take 90 cents away,
Yeah, or like you do something like that to where you make it somewhat difficult to where you take 95 cents away. How much would you have out of $100 or something like that? He said most of them couldn't even answer correctly.
well, wouldn't if I'm correct, wouldn't that be $99.10 or something like that?
Yeah, but I'm saying they couldn't do the math because they're so about their phones and computers and you know what I'm saying?
That's like the easiest math in the world.
But they're not being raised like that anymore.
Jesus. That's interesting.
Right? So he teaches all of them about stocks and he's not all about stocks. He owns gold and cryptos and stuff, but he was talking about the crypto that they're working on right now. He saw the bill where it was in the bill, but they're working on a cryptocurrency for right now. So maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe I don't even care if it doesn't crash, but maybe they're just going to keep pumping it full of money and boost it back up again. And then they're going to switch over to a cryptocurrency. And then you have to have that. And then with that, though, this guy was saying too, and I already told this dude, that's why you got to end for us or for me. I got to eventually get off grid and grow my own food and do all that because what they want to do is they want to give you money. They want to deposit money in your account, and you only have between the certain time to spend it, and if not, it goes away.
That's silly. That's a
Well,
crazy
so they
idea.
can control you.
So, like, how long did they were kind of planning of what was the time limit?
A couple hours or something.
Wait, so for example, they would the bank or the government will give you, I don't know, $200 to spend in two
They'll
hours, and
deposit,
if you,
yeah, they'll deposit it in your bank account. It'll go through the bank. It'll be deposited,
yeah,
but then they can track whatever you buy. So if they give it to everybody because they want you to start off with it, and that's what it's going to be, that's what they would probably do. They'd probably give you $1,000 to everybody for
sure.
free or something. You know, I bet. I
Yeah,
guarantee to start it off to
right.
boost it. Well, okay, so then I'll use it. I'll just use it for like food and shit. I'll just never buy anything that they would be able to trace or track, and then I'll eventually just never use it. Like I'm not gonna go
Right.
buy gold, silver, or ammo or any crazy shit like that. So then it's just completely
I
100%.
think that would be I think that would be like a red flag for the government if you did that, right?
Well, I don't know. They probably already know now if you buy it with your credit card and shit, it's the same
Sure.
thing.
Well, have you ever noticed like do you remember like I don't know 10, 15 years ago when you lost your debit card, or I think maybe even 20 years ago when you lost your debit card or your credit card, like everybody was so scared because everybody was thought that you could just like pay and like somebody could take your card and just pay for anything and anything, remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
Yeah, and now if like if you lose your credit card and anything, it's just one quick call, they cancel it, or or if you don't and somebody spends money, you don't have to worry because like they know that it can't be you, right?
Well,
Like
I'll tell you something in a minute.
yeah, like for example, I went to go buy a because here you have to buy a traffic stamp, a traffic sticker for your car so you can ride on the highways,
Yeah.
and like a prepaid toll sticker kind of thing, right? And the guy at the gas station, he was telling a story where uh, this guy, I don't know if he was invited, but he was saying this guy went to a wedding, uh, and he went, he stole some lady's credit card or debit card, and he went. He, it was somewhere in Czech Republic somewhere, and he went and he used the credit card like 13 times in an hour because he went to like lots of different. He went to a gas station, then he went to like a like a convenience store and so on 13 times. Guy got caught, and I think he got arrested, and I think they reimbursed the lady the money back.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, so because the she got a call, I guess the guy with the attendant was telling us, and she's like, yeah, the guy got a the lady got a call immediately that, hey, somebody's been using your card 13 times, is it possible that it's you? And she goes, no, I'm just here at home. And he goes, aha. So the bank's like, I see, so we'll just cancel the card, give you back your money, and you don't have to worry about it. So
Oh, damn.
that's crazy, right?
It's weird though, because like now they're trying to put shit on the bank. Like I never knew this before. If I put $5,000, I got to call and fucking, if I want to buy something that's $5,000, I have to call and get, it's stupid, dude. I have to call to increase my balance or whatever in order to buy that. But what do you mean? I already have the money in there. Why do I need to get okay from the bank? It's fucking weird.
That's weird.
Right?
I guess maybe they think
They
from
say
that perspective.
security, but they're just
Yeah,
being able to
yeah,
control how much you can spend or not, really.
yeah. During the month or whatever,
It's crazy, huh?
it is kind of crazy, especially with credit cards and cashless stuff. They track it's every time you get a every time you swipe the card, it notifies the bank immediately.
I guarantee they just want to eventually be able to control what you eat, everything. If you can spend, so then it's just control. It's just more control over you.
They almost do that already with like ads, for example.
I would say, yeah.
They almost do that. They're almost at that point. Because have you ever been like, it's the weirdest thing. Have you ever been surfing like internet websites, and all of a sudden you go on a website like YouTube or something, and the ads are just what you've been looking at, like on websites. Like for example,
When
if
they
you like,
start popping up for you,
yeah, exactly. Like so for example, I don't know, you like Samsung TVs, for example. You like, okay, Samsung this, Samsung that, and then you go on like YouTube, and then there's an ad, and it's like, oh, buy this new Samsung TV. Like what?
yeah, no, I know. That's why I
Yeah,
started noticing. I'd be looking at stuff, and then all of a sudden, it's just coming up randomly telling me to buy it. It's like, what the fuck?
right, exactly.
Well, well, I don't talk to him anymore, but my best friend that I grew up with at the time, he he told me a crazy story when I started putting it together. This was years ago, dude. This was probably like 7, 8 years ago. He told me he dated this girl, um, and then he never talked to her again. He went on Facebook, and somehow he wasn't friends with her or anything. Somehow they linked each other.
Uh-huh.
Well, because they had contact before. Remember when Facebook was doing that? Even if you had contact with somebody, I'd see people that, like a girl or a guy that I met or something, or I hooked up with a girl just randomly, and she would somehow pop up for me to add. I never added or whatever, but it was crazy, dude. It was because they were getting your information.
Yeah, they were collecting information for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, they would have to. Otherwise that would never happen, right? You would never even think about that.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Uh,
I don't know.
I I was gonna ask you, have you ever been influenced by advertisements or commercials? Have you ever watched on the TV or something like?
When I was younger, not anymore. More so now, it just reminds me if I need something because I'm not looking at bullshit no more.
Yeah,
But yeah,
like
before, yeah, you'd get excited because you saw something, it'd make you want to buy it. Yeah.
yeah, really? Huh? Yeah, that's interesting. Like, for
Hey,
example, remember
did you get
those
Meta?
Budweiser frogs? What?
Yeah, I do. No, go ahead. I'll ask you
Yeah,
after.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I do
yeah.
remember.
And those, yeah, and they were like Budweiser, right? And they sang that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like I don't know why. I liked the commercial. It was funny and fun, but it never made me want to buy Budweiser. I didn't want to buy Budweiser from a frog. It was weird. It's like like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
sometimes these commercials are like have nothing to do. It's like it's like for example, like that Geico, right? I never had Geico insurance, man. Those caveman dudes, they were great. The commercials were awesome, but it was like, what the fuck, caveman? You know what I mean? I don't meet cavemen every day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they had nothing to do with car insurance, basically.
that's funny. But it made you fucking. That was like growing up. That was like a main thing that we always saw. I would say.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we always saw it, like, or the main commercials that I remember were definitely Budweiser commercials, the Geico commercials, that no, Verizon, can you hear me now, guy?
Yeah, I remember that. And then he
Yeah,
switched up and went to different companies.
did he
Yeah, he ended up doing it for like AT&T or something.
really?
Yeah, but he didn't do the same thing, but it was just crazy.
That makes sense. They
Um,
gave him a different contract.
yeah, he just because he was good at what he did, or everybody knew who he was, and they switched over to the other one.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
I was going to tell you, did you get Theta yet?
No,
Or
not yet.
Dude,
I
you better,
haven't.
because now it just went up to 63 cents. It just hit an all-time high.
You talked about it. That was going to be up about 60 cents. I have to do it tomorrow. I didn't have time today to get in on it.
Oh no, I don't know. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
Do it before it gets on Coinbase at least.
Yeah, sure. Exactly.
You'll thank me, I promise.
I will get on it. I will thank you. I will thank you, man.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, dude, it's crazy. The guy that created YouTube and co-founder of Twitch are the creators of this.
I know Steve Chen, right? And
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. You don't think this thing's going to be huge? This is going to probably take off.
Of course it is. I mean, you think if YouTube and Twitch are on this deal that they're going to let it like tank? No way.
Samsung's in on it too, and then there's a bunch of them.
G Fuel is on it too, right? Mountain Dew.
Yeah, I think so. But once it hits Coinbase, it's over because a lot of people don't know how to get it. I just know how to get it because I do the research, and I've been doing this for years. When I tried to learn how to get Bitcoin and all the different ones that weren't on Coinbase yet, I learned before that. But if you can get it before, I'm telling you, once it's Coinbase, it's going to go up to a couple bucks or something. And I have like 300 and something of it already.
That's a lot. That's pretty good.
I bought it when it was 30 cents.
There you go.
And that was only like a week or so ago. And this guy's been talking about it, saying, dude, get it now. I'm telling you. And it's like, fuck. I'm like, all right. So I got it. And then sure enough, dude. And then I'm mining for it too. So
yeah, you were telling me that you have you have your app running as you're like doing stuff on the computer or going about your day, or
yeah, it'll just be on. I could close it and it'll just, as long as I keep it powered on. Yeah. I have 3 different coins I'm mining for right now.
And it just keeps mining automatically.
Yeah, like this one I just got today, because I don't want to be putting in lots of money. I just want to put in a little bit, that the ones that are like barely, like they're like 0.02 cents, but they have a possibility. Well, I don't care about losing $20. If I put in $20 and then you can claim rewards where you get 5.3% every like hour or two, and it just adds up. You can claim it and you get free coins. Well, it adds up. You don't get a free coin, but over time it'll add up to a coin. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So then you could do it that way, and then the other ones you can stake, where you go into a pool, and then it'll put you on like a decentralized network or a network or whatever, and then you pull from the network and you share your bandwidth, and then everybody's sharing the bandwidth. You get coins for that.
That makes sense. That's a kind of cool system.
That's what I'm saying. So you could be making money, and especially now is the time why everybody's tripping out and worried about everything else. Watching the market and the new things that are going to come out, invest a little bit of money in certain things, you could come out on top on some of this shit for sure.
That makes sense. I got to get in on this, man.
I'm telling you, dude, I'm not, it's not that hard. It just takes a little bit of time. Throw in what you can afford. Don't get crazy, but if you could throw in $100, throw in $100, you'll have a couple hundred of those. Keep it in your wallet. Don't transfer it. Wait till shit cools down. And then when you know the market's good and everything's back to normal, transfer your coins over. Who knows how much money you'll have.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can, you're right. And then, like, for example, you could just take it out, right?
Yeah, there's no problem with that. You didn't do anything illegal. You might get taxed on it, but who cares? You got
Yeah,
free
who
fucking
cares?
money, or you turn $100 into $10,000. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? Yeah, I don't. It doesn't matter about getting taxed. You're gonna get taxed on something
No,
anyway, right?
I'm not gonna fight that, but I'm not
Yeah,
paying. I would never pay taxes on shit like I'm not gonna pay income tax and shit like that. Like there's no like I already did for my unemployment, but I'm saying for my working money, no, that's illegal. There's no law saying that you have to for one, especially the country that I live in. And I'm not trying to be like that. I'm saying I have paid taxes. I'm just saying as for what I know now, I wouldn't pay ever again because there's you already pay taxes every day you buy shit. So they're just raping you by it's slavery by taxing you on the money that you work for. What?
yeah, exactly. I mean, there's retail tax, which is the same as sales tax. There's like income tax. There's
That's what I'm
property tax.
saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting taxed.
How many tax? Yeah, how many taxes are you gonna? You're gonna have no money, dude. And they're gonna have everything, and then you need more money. Get out of here, dude.
Well, they're gonna tax you so much that you're not even gonna have enough money to be taxed on anymore.
Wait, what are you gonna not live and keep giving them your money that you work for, and they didn't do a thing? That's crazy, dude.
That's robbery, man.
But that's what people do here. They gladfully give their money away. If everybody said, "Dude, that makes sense to me. I'm not gonna pay $1," and everybody said, "Fuck that," then they couldn't do a thing about it.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's what's kind of amazing, right? I mean, what is stopping people from like not participating in this system, like not
Dude,
participating as
it's
far as
the
paying taxes?
I'm telling you, my parents are a perfect example. As smart as my mom is, and she'll agree with me that day, the next day she's back to the bullshit. It's like the propaganda and all the shit that they watch on TV. They fucking believe that shit, dude. They 100% believe it, and then it desensitizes them. I'll tell you a story, dude, and this story it bothers me a lot. I watched a video of this girl. She was crying, and CPS or CP or whatever those people at Child Protective Services
Yeah.
they came and took this girl away from her mom who was crying and telling them like, no, you can't do this. And the judge even ordered the kid to go back to the father who was raping the kid, and the kid saying on tape that he rapes me, I don't want to go, and she's screaming and crying, and the CSP person's like, no, you got to go, I'm sorry, and they're like trying to take her and shit. It's crazy, dude. And the judge ordered her to go back to the father. How does that
Why
make
would
sense?
that doesn't make any sense. That
I
if
would
you're
never let him take my kids, dude, because Cooper talked about that and he talked about how these motherfuckers do that shit. They're just
well,
dividing the families and then they just because that's what I was telling my mom, dude. Someone could call on me and say I beat my dogs and they legally have to come in my house. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. I mean,
But
who
then what if
gives?
that's not even the case and then they bust down your door and someone just called on you? Well, they just fucked your house up and then intruded
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean,
intruded like on your property and your space and it's crazy.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, just because they got a phone call that they can do all this kind of bullshit, and if you're talking about social child protective services, right? I mean, why would you if the basis of that is to get kids out of dangerous situations? That doesn't make any logical sense for a judge to put like a child back into a dangerous situation. That doesn't make any sense at all.
Dude, children that young do not lie. So she wasn't lying. So I don't understand what the problem
How
was,
old was the
what the
How old
issue
was the
was.
girl?
Dude, she was probably like 5, 6 years old.
Yeah, I mean those when you're 5 or 6 years old, those kids are pure in that way. They wouldn't lie about something like that.
That's what I'm saying, dude. And she was crying, dude. It was crazy. Like I wouldn't let that happen, though. I would not let that happen, dude. I wouldn't, dude. That's what I've been coming to realize. Like I don't know. I just been coming to it's really bothering some, but you come to realize like the world that we live in and what's really going on, dude. And it's like when is someone gonna really stand up for this shit? I'm not saying I'm gonna go put myself in that predicament, but I'm saying if I had kids and that happened and they tried to come or I split up with my chick and her ex or her guy at the time was beating my daughter and they were trying to give her back to my chick or some dude, I would not let that happen. I
Yeah,
just would not.
that
I would not give my kid up, dude. You'd have to forcefully try to come get my kid, and then even then, I probably wouldn't even let you do that.
yeah.
That's
I
like
mean,
that's not right. There's no right to that. And for them to make some bullshit explanation, there's no explanation for that, dude. you're the parent and you have guardian over your child who you birthed. They had nothing to do with that, and they have no say. Just like when anybody tries to tell you anything for your dogs, like, dude, it's my dogs. You don't tell me how to feed them. Don't tell me I need to do this. I need to do that. I'll abide by the laws so I don't get tickets. But other than that, I don't need to do anything. I don't need to get them vaccinated. I don't need to go to the vet every fucking week. I don't need to get them chipped. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
That's crazy to me, dude.
yeah, it's crazy. And it seems like if you, and that's what's interesting, because if you don't do that stuff, you get seemed like you are the insane person.
That's where it's the problem, though. That's where it's and then other people that think they're normal are against you because they think you're a bad person. So if you were, say, they took your dogs and you fucking flipped out, and then you went down there and you beat somebody up and got your dogs back or something, you'd be the bad guy. But
Yeah,
legally,
exactly.
they took your dogs and they shouldn't have. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they really just stole your dogs or your kid or whatever. Like, how does that
Yeah.
work?
Yeah, how is that? How is that legal? And how is that any safer than anything that you've been doing?
Exactly.
That doesn't make any sense.
And
Like,
my mom tried to tell me, like, I'm not trying to bring my mom into it. I'm just giving an example because she worked in the schools, but she was trying to tell me, because I asked her, I was like, where are most of these people at? The CPS people. They're mostly in the lower income communities because that's where they can get away with most of that.
yeah, I'm sure they can probably get away with some kind of nefarious bullshit a lot.
Though she worked in the lower income communities, so she said, yeah. But she said that's not all the case. And I'm sure it's not all the case. I know that for a fact. I'm just saying, but like
Yeah.
that's a reason why I was starting to get tired of my ex, dude. What she stood for. She became a therapist, and she cried when she came home crying one day, like all day, and she was crying because she had to call on this kid for getting supposedly beat or something. She didn't know 100%, so she didn't know what was going on, but she legally had to call supposedly. But it was like, dude, think about what you're doing. They're going to go and take that kid away from the family. You don't even know if that's true, and then you don't even know if the kid's going to go back there.
Right.
And she
Or
was crying about it because she knew it was wrong, but she still did it.
and so then okay, so if she did it, right? Let's say she's
I was bothered
let's
dude, by that. I was like, I couldn't do that. So how could I be with somebody that could do things like that? I don't care if they cry about it and they get over it. Like I can't do this. I can't do stuff like that.
well, isn't that like a that's a odd that's an odd, what do you call it? An odd distribution of power that she has. If she can make a phone call and then potentially take a kid out of a situation, whether it's
Right or wrong.
fabricated or not, yeah, right or wrong, and potentially put that child into another harmful situation just by making a phone call. That's
And
pretty
then
dangerous.
ruining their life, dude. Think about the people that don't go back to their families and go into these homes, dude. Most of them
That's what I'm
become
saying.
thugs, or I'm not gonna. I don't want to put that on everybody. I'm just saying they don't make the best decisions in life moving forward.
Well, these are these. I mean, of course, you can't like generalize everybody, right?
No, no.
That's not possible. Not everybody's like that. But like, but how did when your ex like made that call? How does she know, or how did she know? I don't want to, you know, slander her or anything like that. I'm just saying, how did she know that if she were to take that or remove that kid from that harmful situation, how did she know that she was putting that child into a safer place? How did she know that?
Well, I think what I remember is I could be wrong, and I'm not 100% sure on that. I think they take them and they go to a family member if one's available, possibly.
Hmm.
I'm not sure on that. But it's still the fact that they take them, they don't give them to anybody right away, or they're not going into the hands of a family member or uncle or aunt or somebody that is related and can take care of the kid. They shouldn't be going to some government service. What the fuck?
Yeah, no. So what happens to the kid? They get put into like a detention center or what? Like a
I think they
orphanage?
try to find I think they try to find somebody for them, and if they can't, yeah, then they're in like the housing and shit or whatever.
How is that? How is that legal?
That's what they do because they make you out to be the bad guy, or they supposedly have the right to do this and that. That's why That's why with warrants and stuff, dude, if they don't have a warrant, they break in your house, like you legally should shoot those people because even if you do jail time, because you got to stand up for that shit because that's what they've been doing. They just break in your fucking house and say they don't find anything on it. They'll just plant something on you.
Yeah,
That's what
I
my
know.
buddy put into realization for me because I mean, I fucked with cops over time, but usually I'm white and I'm pretty chill, so I don't, I don't usually have a problem. And I'm not a thug and I don't do evil acts, so I'm not looking for that stuff. But it's like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah,
I,
I know what you mean. It's like it's almost like a catch-22, right? I mean, there's no chance of you getting anything kind of positive out of any of those situations. It's like you're damned if you do and damned if you don't, right? It's either how are you going
yeah.
to solve this situation like that? You're going to be the like this. You're going to be the bad person in any situation. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I mean. To the public, you'll be a bad person, but then truthfully, you'll know that you're doing right. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
that's what I've been coming to. It's like these people that do these evil things and then they justify for it and then make you think that you're wrong. But it's like they're the ones doing the evil acts or putting you in that position. You have the right to defend yourself or do whatever because they're enforcing that on you. You're not enforcing that on them nor looking for that. They're the ones running around doing all that shit or trying to do that. So why are you a bad guy for standing up for what you believe in, which is nothing crazy? It's just natural law and being a normal good human being, dude. Like that makes no sense.
I think because the assumption is that they automatically assume that whatever they're thinking, these people are thinking is what in their head. I think what they think. Of course, I'm not. I can be probably 100% wrong, but I think
Speculating.
I'm speculating here, yeah. And it's not everybody, of course. I can't say everybody, but I think those types of people don't think what they're doing is wrong. I think they have this kind of odd sense of that what they're doing is actually right or good, or they think that it's good. And then they assume that other people think like them. And when you don't think like them or don't agree with them, they freak out because they don't know how to handle somebody that doesn't think like them. So they,
But okay, so this is my problem with that, and I always had a problem with that before. I just never found the answer, but I finally did. So it's their fault for not learning the truth, though, or trying to grow as a person and search for the truth. That's their fault. It says it
yeah,
in the Bible. And whether I don't mean to keep going to that, but I'm just saying like
no problem.
that makes sense. Why would you just be cruising through life your whole life? Like they already lie to you about everything. So why would you trust anything that they say? That's what always made me go outside the box because it was like, dude, they're just lying. Like they're not giving you the truth. Why do I have to search for it and go through like heaps and bounds to find the actual truth or go through trial and error on myself to know that this works, not what they told me because that shit doesn't work. It makes me sick or I'm not in shape or I feel like shit or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. It's like they try to cover it up so much that it's so much misinformation, disinformation that it's so like
People
for
don't have
me,
the time to differ between the two because they work
yeah,
so much and they have a life.
yeah, exactly. And I think what happens is like, dude, it's exhausting, number one. And two, it's like then it's so convoluted information that you don't even know that you're being lied to anymore. You don't know what is true, what is false. You don't even know what lies are anymore. You're just being spoon-fed information everywhere. And and if you're just a normal person or average person just going about your day and you don't really like focus or hyper focus on any of this stuff, you would be so lost, bro. You would
Yeah.
be you would be so lost you wouldn't even know you're being lied to. And I think that's why a lot of people are asleep because they don't even know. They don't even know any, and I don't
A
mean that
lot
in
of
a bad
Biden.
way.
We got Bidens.
Biden.
We got Bidens. We got a bunch of Bidens running around.
Yeah, exactly,
I
man.
don't even know
Biden.
what they said an hour previous to the interview that they did, nor did they know they got a haircut or that they're even alive.
Yeah, or they don't even remember their whole name.
It's like, what was that? Dude, I got to send you that Pelosi video. That's insane.
Dude, I have to show you that Joe Biden video. Yeah, I'd like to see that, man. That the Joe Biden video is like, I forget. It was like Joe Biden was like, yeah, I'm Joe Biden, and okay, the issue is different, right? But he was like, I'm Joe Biden, and I like cake, for example, right? I like cake, and then he said, But then the interviewer's like, well, I heard that Joe Biden, I heard that Joe Biden doesn't like cake. Oh yeah, well, I'm Joe Biden, and I'm glad that I'm not that Joe Biden guy who doesn't like cake, and I'm very happy that I'm Joe Biden. Like, what?
That's what he said.
Something like that. Yeah, like
What the fuck?
it wasn't about cake, but
And these are the people that you want to run your country.
yeah.
There's probably a fifth grader that's smarter and can complete a sentence better than that motherfucker.
Yeah, remember that show, Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader, with that Jeff Foxworthy guy?
Dude, I was telling my mom and she was getting upset at me, and it's like, why are you taking their side? But it was like I was getting upset when I used to first watch these like 6 months ago, and it's like, dude, I would get an F if I fucking made a speech like that. And these motherfuckers are up there on national TV making a speech, and they're fumbling their words and in between sentences and fiddling their hands and
Yeah.
and dude, it's just unbelievable to me.
I took a public speaking course in university, and that does not make me at all any sort of expert in speech making. But dude, if I did any of those things, I would fail so hard that class, man.
So then I don't understand. That would be a good experiment to go up and do a horrible speech or read one off that you got off the news, just like one of those fools, and then you get an F, and you say, "Why would I get an F when my politician? I just read a speech from a politician."
Dude, that would be the ultimate troll, right? You like print like a Joe Biden speech, go to the class, just read it.
You're in trouble for what's it called, purgatory or fucking copyright.
Yeah, copyright and what is that shit?
Plagiarism.
Plagiarism, yeah.
So just change the words a little bit.
Yeah,
know the words a little bit, and it's yours.
Yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough to make you the president of the United States, but it's bad enough to get you an F.
No, yeah, but just when they try to get you in trouble for that because they get pissed because you did that and they try to get you in trouble, well, just when you change the words and they don't realize it until you tell them, they'll realize how stupid they really are.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure you would win that case too.
Hell yeah, you would. What? There'd be no evidence that you plagiarize anything if the words are different. How that says right there, the words are spelled different. So what are you trying to tell me that I plagiarized?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they would probably get you on plagiarism or try to, and then you would probably win for sure.
Or they would just expel you from that fucking school. That's exactly what they would probably do.
Yeah, and
they would expel you from the school, dude.
Dude, and try to publicly humiliate you to save face, right?
Oh my god, that's exactly what they would do. That's unbelievable. And then you probably have a hard time maybe even getting back into a school.
Probably, I'm sure.
These are the days that we live in.
Dude.
Or at least I live in over here. It's probably not that serious over there. So
not like that, man.
You know, though, this guy was saying something that's pretty cool, and I never thought of that. There, and I'm pretty good at always thinking ways around stuff, which is a really good thing. And a lot of people, I'm sure you have that too. A lot of people with intelligence have that. But what was I going to say? Man, I totally lost train of thought I was going to say. That sucks.
You were trying to get around like certain situations or with.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. The vaccine. This rich guy was talking about. I don't watch rich guys. I don't care about that. It was only on the gold and silver, but he made a really good point. He said, so if they come out with the vaccine and you have to have paperwork or whatever, and you got to go into places with this, he said, I'll just pay to get my vaccine. As far as not getting a vaccine, but pay for the paperwork.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
Well, yeah, I was like, fuck, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that is a great idea. Just pay for the paperwork.
But you got to find that doctor. So
that does that, right?
Yeah, and then who even knows if they set you up? So I don't even know.
Oh, that could be dangerous though, because you don't know who you're going to, right?
Or what if they trick you and they're like, "Oh, you don't have it? All right, here you go. We're gonna give it to you." What the fuck?
Oh, that, or it's a sting operation and you're actually talking to like undercover agents. You know what I mean?
I know. That's why I was kind of sketched out on that. But there's always people you can find, and someone will lead you the right way if you're searching. If you're looking for it, you'll find it. You know what I'm saying? You really will.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll always. It's weird how that works, dude. You'll just run into that person that's meant to be for that time, or when you need these people, they're there for you at that time. Not using them. I'm just saying for the tool at that time that you need or whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, for example, you're not focused on any of these people because it's not that situation, right? And then once that
Right.
situation comes up, you're like, oh, I know a guy, or I know a girl, or I know a person that does this actually.
Or your buddy knows somebody that you haven't talked to in a while, and it just so happens to work out like randomly that you were looking at getting something, and this guy has a friend that works in that area or whatever, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting how like some of these situations you get into that you would never imagine you get into, and once you're in it, you always find a way to kind of get out of it, not in an illegal way or anything like that. Just get out of it. Like there's something that somebody to help you in those situations.
You know what though? Who even knows what's illegal or legal anymore with the way that these motherfuckers have written the laws? It's like, dude, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
You got to go by, I think, like your heart and what's right and wrong.
I
Other than that, you could be so discombobulated with all this shit that they tell you, and you're supposed to follow this law and that law. Dude, we're so far away from the amendments and the Constitution. It's unbelievable.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're just going about your daily lives and you're not caught up in all this shit, it goes back to what I said, that you wouldn't even know what is legal or illegal, like you're saying. I mean, you wouldn't even know. I think what it takes. What I think, if you have like a certain moral and principle compass, and you kind of have a general sense of what is good and evil, I think you'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah. Well, isn't that what you're born with? You know what I'm saying? People, that's what I don't understand, dude. Like people, you're born with that. So I think people just get all fucked up because they all the propaganda and the desensitization, just everything, dude. The parties, the women, it's just everything. It's too easy to get caught up in that.
So that's that was like that's always the big debate, right? Or it's not a big debate, but that's kind of like a more moral issue, I think you would say, or a philosophical issue. I mean, do you think, like, because there was these two famous philosophers, right? An English philosopher named John Locke and a French philosopher named Jean-Jacques Rousseau. And I always get it mixed up, but I think Jean-Jacques Rousseau, his philosophy was, when you're born a good person. No. Yeah, you're born a good person, but the society around you influences you enough that you will lose that kind of innocence, and you will be evil or bad or good. You'll either be evil or good based on society. And I think John Locke's philosophy was the reverse. So you are born not evil, but you are born with the ability to be evil already without society. So basically the reverse. I kind of tend to think on the Jean-Jacques Rousseau side. I think that we definitely get in. I think we're good people. Humans are good people from the very, very beginning. It's this surroundings and the society that can fuck you up, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're not smart enough to decipher between the two or put in the work to, which makes sense to me, no matter what, like you gotta search for the truth, dude. And that's with everything. If you believed everything everybody told you, you'd be a mess. Or
Yeah,
you probably wouldn't even be fucking alive.
you would probably be the most gullible person ever.
If even alive.
Yeah, exactly. If even alive.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is like that, to be honest.
What?
Like, so gullible that they believe everything that they get told.
No, but I'm saying, but they almost do because they believe all the propaganda and all the bullshit on TV. And then if someone tells, it just, people are nuts, dude. Nobody does research anymore. So that's why they think that you're lying or that you don't know what you're talking about. But it's like, no, you don't know what you're talking about because you're not doing the research. I'm telling you facts, documents, and history, and you don't want to listen to it. That's your fault.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what happens when they start to freak out, because they don't know how to respond to somebody who actually does research on things like that. They don't know how to hold conversations.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah, it's crazy.
But that's their problem. That's not mine.
No, but they make it that they make you. That's what's so crazy about it, is because they make you think that you have a problem.
Yes, that's what my mom tries to do to me. And then I make her feel like not bad or whatever, but she makes me mad, dude, because she starts like talking down on me and stuff. And it's like, dude, why do you go to that level? And then you start preaching to me, telling me what what I should be doing. And it's like, no, I'm not telling you what you should be doing. I'm just telling you the truth and what's going on, but you don't want to hear it. There's two differences in those. What the heck?
Yeah, those are two different issues.
Dude, you should hear. I should record it one time if we ever get an argument like that. Dude, I've just gotten too smart, dude. I don't know. With like, I don't know. I don't read really. It's just what I've been listening to, and I don't know, man. I've like grown a lot, and I see a lot more. And I try to tell my mom, and she does listen, but she fights me on some of it when it goes strictly against what she believes in. And it's like, why do you believe in that? Because all that stuff that you believe in is the stuff that they've been telling you, not the stuff that you searched on your own and you realize that is false. They've been telling you this. They've been telling you this, telling you, showing you, so you believe it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what education system is, right? I mean, there's a certain curriculum, you know, all the way up to the point when you graduate from university. You could be well educated for sure, but you're educated in all the stuff
They
that
want you to be
college.
educated in.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I don't know, basic education, it's whatever the curriculum is, right? So you 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 might have gotten A's and B's and good grades and all these things. And that's great. And because you memorized and you were able to go swim through like what you were supposed to be learning, whatever the curriculum is, right? And then you do that all the way through university and you learn that's why that I don't know if you ever heard this phrase, Drew, but it's like I think it was Einstein who said it, I think. I don't want to misquote, but he was like saying, or he said like the more I learned in university, the more I understood that I didn't know anything. And that's true, right? Because
Yeah.
when you go through university, you kind of hyper focus on something. So like, I don't know, hotel management, for example, right? And you want to open up a sports bar. So you got to hyper focus and take courses that gets you towards learning how to be a sports bar owner, right? You're not going to learn about philosophy or history or any of those things, right? Why? Because it's not necessary for you to graduate. You need to learn that certain curriculum, whatever you're learning. So, which is fine. You could be well educated, but I don't think that myself included, I'm educated, or I like to think I'm educated, but I'm trying to gain more knowledge rather than just education.
And education comes with gaining more knowledge.
Right, exactly. Because
So you
you
hit
are,
both on the head, and people only want to do the one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I really don't. I've
Yeah,
always
I don't.
dude, you've always been different. I've always been different, and there's a reason for that. You know what I mean? Like as far as we've never. Even though I hung out at school with some of those guys or the whatever, I never was really a part of that. I hung out with all different kinds of groups, and then I'm glad I did that, and I'm glad I traveled and played soccer. It just kept me out of all the bullshit and what I could have possibly become or whatever. But there was a reason I did it, because and I never liked really doing that stuff anyways. Like I only really my whole life I only really partied hard for like 2 or 3 years, and that's nothing compared to all the guys that did nothing but party their whole life and still do.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
It was hard though because you know how hard that stuff is, like those temptations and stuff. Like it's crazy, dude. Because you know that you can take advantage of so many things if you do the other things, but you're like, no, I just don't feel right doing that stuff.
I know what you mean, man. You feel like it's like hard decisions because you feel like, oh, I want to have fun, I want to be with my friends, and it's going to be a good time, it's going to be a great time, and if I don't go, I'm going to feel like a loser, right?
Right.
And then but then you're like, but then like then you start realizing as you get older, or I did, it's like, nah, I'm not a loser,
Those guys were losers.
yeah, in the end, or maybe not, but they're the losers because they did the same thing, just this endless cycle, and not
Dude,
really
you're a
growing.
loser if you go out all the time and still kind of act like you're in high school. I'm not saying if you go out and drink and do stuff like that or whatever. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if you're on the constant looking for a party or the next best thing to do, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's pretty childish, to be
That's
honest.
what Daniel still does. He's all over the fucking place.
Well, parties are cool, right? I mean, parties are cool. I mean, I know nobody's saying parties are not cool, right? They're fun, right? Let off some steam,
I'm not
right?
saying, yeah, I'm not saying, I'm just saying where you're you're in Mammoth one weekend, you're at the beach the next, then you're in Mexico the following weekend, and then maybe you
That's
chill this weekend, and then then you're at this girl's house for a pool party. Oh, then you want to go to Mount Baldy and you hit me up to take the dogs on a hike. It's just weird
yeah,
shit, dude.
that's all over the map, man.
Not everybody's like that, but
No, yeah.
uh,
My partying now is like if I go to dinner parties or, you know, those are, man, dude, Drew. I would never thought I would be saying that, man. Like when I was younger, I wanted to go. I would be at a different party here, different party there, going crazy. But dinner parties, man, they're so fun if you're with the right people, man.
yeah, I agree with you. I like that. I like that. If you can have a good conversation or you have a good couple that you can go with. I never had that with my ex, man, or like I only maybe had that with like a couple girls I dated, but yeah, I never really had that. It sucks.
Yeah, that does suck, man, because you're missing out, dude. It's fun. It's fun. It's not you don't. It's not a double date. It's nothing like that. It's just you're like with a small group of people having a nice conversation, just relaxing, maybe having some wine, some beer, and just like chilling and having fun, and then have nice dinner, and then you just go about your business, and that's it. It's a nice party. I
Yeah,
like.
I like that.
Yeah, it's nice. Or we would go somewhere, and it's like a they have like hors d'oeuvres or like small finger food, and you're just relaxing, having a good time. You're dressed up. Nice parties. Those are awesome parties, man.
Well, yeah, that's like big boy stuff instead of like going just to get all fucked up and party with a bunch of random people.
Yeah, man. And I don't know.
Not saying that that's what these guys do. A lot of them have grown up and go out, but they go out. They go out all the time, dude. I don't know. They don't go to dinner like you do with your chick. They go out.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like to the clubs.
Not even to the clubs. I'm just saying, like, if they're going to the bar, they're going 5, 6, 7, 8 deep. And it's
Yeah.
like you're in high school. Like you meet up with people, you got to meet up with this group. Oh, let's go here next. Like that's too much for me, dude.
Dude, speaking of high school, bro, do you remember like on a Monday or Tuesday we had that like party line and you send a
Oh
text
hell
message,
yeah, I do.
dude, to party line, and then you got the text message, oh, there's a party in Cavina, man. Let's go Friday.
Those were the days, man.
Dude, those were awesome,
There'll
man.
never be anything like that.
No, never. That was something that will never be seen again. That was epic, dude.
You could just call the night before, or I mean the night of, a couple hours
Yeah,
before the party, and you'll
yeah.
find out where the location was if you didn't have a party to go to yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You just called a number and you were automatically hooked up with two or three potential parties to go to. It was awesome.
That's why I was spoiled though, because all the guys that I hung out with and all the different groups is I always kind of I could almost do something every weekend.
Yeah, me too.
I know. But then that got to me eventually because it was like, fuck, dude, this is like I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm hooking up with girls but I'm not. I don't know. I'm not feeling good. I'm not. I don't. I don't. I'm not making progress.
Yeah, were you thinking about that at the time, or do you think
Yeah,
you're
I always
regretting it
did.
on hindsight?
That's why I would go back and forth. I would take time off or not party and then work really hard and train. But then I'd be like, fuck, I just want to go have fun. But then you go have fun, you get all fucked up, and then everything you worked hard for, you go backwards. So it was a constant battle with that for me always until I really got old enough and then moved out and was on my own and really had to suck up, dude. And like I think Germany did it to me the most because I always had a problem when I would leave and go somewhere else. I'd always be worried about everybody back home or like what I was missing out or I couldn't wait to get back home to wrong mentality, dude. Not every time. I'm just saying when it got hard, you're like,
Yeah,
man, I could just go back home and live a good life again, But that's not what it was about, dude. But this last time I really I really got away from all that. In Germany, I don't know what it was when I came back and I just started growing. I don't know, dude. It's weird. But I
well, that
just got like I used to worry about what were people doing on the weekend. And it's like, dude, this is fucking crazy. Like, why am I worried about if I'm missing out on something that's so stupid? I should be worried about what I should be doing.
yeah, and especially if you know that it's every weekend, so you know that the if you miss one weekend, the next weekend will be exactly the same, right?
It wasn't that. It was for
Yeah,
me, for me, I don't care about the partying. It was always meeting a random girl or having that opportunity because I always do well with that and I always kind of get lucky. Like how I met that girl in Italy and shit. Like I just get random with meeting pretty girls. somehow, some way, in some random place. So I like that. That's like it's almost like going on a trip and you just get off the plane and you're just like, all right, fuck it, I'm just gonna cruise. Like that's what I do. It's just like, all right, well, you do a little research of the hotel you want to go to, but you don't map it out and look like a tourist. You just start asking and finding out, take the trains, and you get there. So it's like I like that with girls because you never really know, you know. So it's like you meet a pretty girl, it's always interesting. It's just always interesting, dude, and it's always exciting to meet a new girl or a pretty girl like that, you know.
Sure, it's always exciting, especially if it's in in a different country or even back home, right? Something new, something fresh all the time. It's fun, you know. But going back to earlier, that leads me to my question: is when you were missing, the U.S. or what was happening back in the U.S. about with friends and family when you traveled to different countries, did you feel that way because you truly missed being at home, or when you went to that country, you looked at it in the eyes of an American, and you were trying to compare that country you're in to to the US, and when you found out it wasn't quite the same or different, that you were like, oh, I want to go back because there are certain things that I can't figure out, or I don't understand why it's different than the United States. Or
Some of it, yeah, for sure. But for me, mainly, I think what boredom for me is the main thing. I cannot. At least I gotta have some stuff to do. But to know that the next day is nothing but playing soccer, and you're not getting paid a lot, or you could be getting paid a lot in the future, but just I don't know, man. Like I get affected a lot. I would get affected a lot. Like if I could either not party and play like a champ, like don't party, just be straight sober and don't do anything, and probably go pro, or I could at least have a little bit of fun and go back and forth. Is which what I did, but
sure,
then that's why I was always back and forth and always like that didn't help me. And then when you're on that kind of thing, yeah, then it's easier to miss home because you're not focused. I should have been hitting the
sure,
ground running every time I went to a country, which sometimes I would like the first month or two, but then if it got hard and you miss family, you're in the wrong mindset, then you're not going to make it. So Germany, I was all the way there. It was just, I just, it wasn't that I couldn't have kept playing and I couldn't have made something happen and I couldn't have stayed and I could still probably be there now. That's not the case. The case was I realized what reality was. And the reality was I waited way too long. I messed around way too long. And I don't even care. I'm not saying that. It's nothing like that. I'm just saying it just so I could move on with my future, dude, and realize I could do something else because I was holding on to soccer. But I realized
sure.
that it was just, it's not what I wanted. And I didn't want to work that hard for that to live that lifestyle. That's just what it was. That's really what it was.
No, but what I was trying to get at is, like, for example, like when you're in Germany, for example, and you notice like you're in a village somewhere, for example, or wherever you were staying, and
Yeah, I know you relate it to America and like, does that bother you or whatever? No,
yeah,
that stuff never bothered me. No, I like that. I like new experiences going on,
yeah,
like going to search. Like I like that stuff. But if you don't have people that you can communicate somewhat with some or like the camaraderie, dude, like how we have, or if I can go see you and it just kind of will always be the same. It's not going to be weird, dude. It's not going to be different. It's not going to be a different conversation from when I'm talking to you now to when I see you in person. But these
right,
other people, it's like that's not the same, dude. It's like you can have a good conversation one day and then a weird one the next because they're all about their shit and they really don't care about anybody. But
yeah,
you're different, you care. So then it's just hard to deal with all that kind of stuff. So then yeah, you're kind of like all alone. If you're not strong enough to deal with all that, then you're definitely not going to make it as a player. So I,
sure.
I don't think I was strong enough in that aspect, and I wasn't ready, and I and I really just didn't want to be a soccer player. Other than that, I probably could have lived in another country and not have the pressure of soccer on me. Yeah, I could live somewhere, no problem, somewhere else.
Yo, that's great because I mean that was kind of like me, like when I stayed here, in 2012. It was like uh okay, so I broke my foot. That was like a big setback. But if I even if I I was in the same place as far as like soccer. I was like, I was good enough and I wanted to play, but I didn't want to play like I just wanted to play. But getting away from that, I was like, you know what? I felt what I felt was in the beginning, I felt kind of stuck. Like I was here, I didn't have anything, I didn't have my ID, I didn't have, you know, I was just barely living on the cash that I came over with, and I didn't have any friends, and it was a hard time, right? It was hard dealing with that emotionally because there was, I wouldn't say I was homesick, but I missed what I missed the most at that point was that I didn't know anybody and I wasn't able to speak. I was in a place where I couldn't speak. I know this is going to sound, you know, Anglo-centric, but I couldn't speak English with anybody. I couldn't communicate properly. You know, I could say a few things, but I couldn't have conversations with people. That hurt a lot. That hurts a lot.
That's
And
what I'm
then,
saying. You don't have anybody to talk to.
yeah, exactly. So I went to Prague every day and I went to this. I found an English speaking pub, and from there I started meeting English speakers. You know, and they were from wherever, from China, from India. It didn't really matter. They just spoke the same language I did, and at this point that language was English. So we made friends that way, and then I was able to find how to get a bank account through them, through these networks, and where to get jobs, where to live, where's the good places to live, where's the good places to eat, and so on. And then slowly but surely, I I started to kind of get away from looking at it from an American perspective. But some ways I still do that. I still struggle with that. I still feel like, for example, where we live, like in LA, I mean, you can get Starbucks anywhere you want, and I have to travel an hour and a half to get a Starbucks. You know what I mean? It's not
Yeah.
that. It's not about the Starbucks. I don't really need Starbucks every day, but it's just knowing that, you know,
Accessibility.
yeah, the accessibility of things, and sometimes it wears on me. Like if we want to go to the cinema, we have to drive an hour and a half to the cinema, where you could drive like 10 minutes and you're in a really nice cinema place. So, so I still compare it a little bit, and people always kind of ask me what is better. And some things here are better, some things over there are better, and some things here are worse. And it's just, you have to kind of find the pros and cons and make your own decision.
Yeah,
But
but a overall quality living of life is better over there.
I think so. I think it's a great place to raise kids because, one, we don't have riots in the streets. We don't have all these. We don't have murders. We don't have police harassing people like crazy, and all these other things. And so it's kind of peaceful here. I mean, I don't have to worry about anything here. We're relatively safe all the time. I mean, I don't have to worry about my safety. I mean, just basic things, but you know, but so I'll tell you a story. There was like when I first started teaching English, I wanted to get when I moved from Prague to kind of here where I live now. Uh, what happened is there was like I wanted to see how real Czechs live because I was still like, so I got to a point where I was only around expats and just I was like, oh, I want to make some Czech friends.
Yeah.
So I signed up for this program where they send you to different places around the Czech Republic, like as native English speakers to teach English, right? And this one lady, she was from London, and uh, she was like so excited to be in Czech Republic, and they I think the selection of schools was random, so they sent her to like this really really tiny village that wasn't even really close to any big city. She went so crazy because there was nothing. I mean, you can imagine coming from London to some small village, and she spoke like posh English. You know what I mean? Like really luxurious English, and she just quit in like a week.
Shut up, really?
Yeah,
That's
she went
what?
home.
Oh, that's weak, dude. I would at least say a couple months.
Yeah, she couldn't handle it. She was
Wow.
she was living in some flat, and she was like, oh, they don't even have like air conditioning, and they don't have any like, it was like not dirty, but it looked old and things like that. I said, that's part of the charm, kind of. I mean,
That's
that's
what I'm saying. That's what I've lived. We've lived many places like that. I don't know what she's bitching about.
yeah, I guess she lives in like the most posh area of London.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, dude. People would have a rude awakening if they went and lived in some of these places that we went and played and traveled and did all the things or whatever.
Yeah.
And you, I praise to you, dude. You're still there. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not even putting myself anywhere near that or whatever. I've just been to multiple countries, and the most I've stayed is a little bit longer than 6 months, you know. But to stay 6 years and establish yourself, and that's really good.
Yeah, that's well, yeah, but yeah.
Props to
So
you.
I mean, no, thanks, man. Yeah,
Of
thanks.
course.
No, he was so she quit, man, and then but then some people fall in love with it, and then most of the people stayed and are still here, married with kids. So
I
that's
wouldn't
really
go back
cool.
if I came over now. I wouldn't come back here. I would not.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Uh,
What do you mean staying there completely?
well, I don't know about here in Czech Republic, but at least here in Europe or somewhere. You know what I mean?
Oh, where would you think about moving if you moved?
If we moved, I would think about moving to Ireland. Ireland's beautiful, man.
Really?
Yeah,
But how would you be? Oh, because you're a part of the European Union, you can move there and it'd be no problem.
exactly.
What?
That's why I'm really lucky in that way. As part of the EU, no problem. You can go over there, move, work, live, no problem, no questions asked. Of course,
Wow,
you would have to transfer like your ID into being like Irish stuff, but because you're EU, that's like seamless almost.
that'd be so sick.
Yeah, man. It's
What?
lovely. It's green. It's flat. It's peaceful. It's quiet. They have good food. It's nice.
What about? Yeah, how are they doing over there with all the garbage?
As far as like you mean like this COVID,
Yeah.
uh, in Ireland, I'm not sure, but I think it's the same everywhere around the world, like lockdowns and things like
Well,
that.
in the United States, the only place you didn't have to wear a mask and really it wasn't bothered was South Dakota.
I heard about that.
It's probably because of the whoever represents that state.
Who represents the state?
The governor, I'm saying, the governor's not for any of that shit. Maybe they're a good person.
You mean the South Dakota governor? Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's see. South Dakota
If they're
governor.
a Republican, they got one
Oh,
point.
yeah. You know why?
Why?
It's a woman. Her name is Christy Noem. And do you think she's Democrat or Republican?
She has to be a Republican.
Yeah, she's Republican.
Yeah. So then that she has to be. No,
Yeah.
no Democrat would. All Democrats want you to wear a mask and fucking
Yeah.
social distance and stay in your house and lose your job and lose all your money.
Yeah, exactly.
Not saying I'm for, the real republic's not the same how it used to be. Maybe there are some people still up for it, but in the office, I'm saying there's not too many that I hear that are talking. The only other one is Senator, what is it, Reynolds or something like that, Harris or something, or some white guy. He was getting in an argument with Fauci, telling him that most people have immunity. Why are you saying that we still are on lockdown and all this? And they got in a big old argument. It makes sense to me with what he was saying.
Was that argument on TV or
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
really?
Yes, it's like a six. It was on Fox.
That had to have been like the wildest Fox News segment ever.
Kind of. They showed them going back and forth, and then Fauci was getting pissed.
I
He's
can
like, I never
imagine.
said that, and I said 22%. And well, the matter of the fact is, everything's decreasing, dummy. So you're never been correct, and you're not correct now. So what he's saying is truthful. People are either getting the immunity to it, or the cases are going down because it's not that serious.
Yeah, it's either one of those. I
So
heard
that's what the guy is saying, and then Fauci doesn't want to hear that. But who the fuck is 4 foot Fauci? Well, you know what I'm
I,
saying?
I
The
heard
fuck?
Fauci. I heard that Fauci guy hasn't practiced medicine for like 30 years or something like that.
You know, my tattoo, the guy that owns a tattoo shop, when I was getting tatted about a month ago, he was
Yeah.
telling me, the owner was telling me, did you know that Bill Gates and Fauci were roommates in college? So they've been having this plan together for a long time.
Well, Bill Gates is like a eugenist.
The fuck is
Eugenist. I
that?
think the eugenist is like a. I think it's called eugenist. Eugenist is somebody who uh believes eugenics. Eugenics. That's it. Yeah, he's into eugenics, meaning that certain people have uh what do you call it? Better traits than other people, and he's like this. You remember that movie 300?
Yeah.
About the and remember that guy, the Leonidas, he kicked that disabled guy, that disabled guy into that garbage bin, and he said you can't be a Spartan because you're disabled.
Yeah.
Well, that's eugenics because because Leonidas wanted the
Yeah, I
best
understand what you're
warriors.
saying.
Yeah, the best warriors, and he didn't want any defects in the Spartan army. Bill Gates is into that type of stuff.
Yeah, that his wife's a man, if she's even his wife.
Bill Gates?
Dude, you should look at his wife, dude. She has manly features. She looks exactly like a man. They were saying that it's a man.
Bill Gates has a wife? I didn't even know that.
Well, I don't want to say it's a wife.
Melinda Gates. Oh,
Just look at her picture, man. She has.
yeah.
If you cut her hair, she'd look like a man.
Is this the lady with the brown hair?
I think so.
Yeah. She's kind of manly.
Don't you think so?
Yeah. She doesn't have really feminine features.
See? I don't know one woman that looks like that.
I mean, either.
She's gross, dude.
Dude, that's like that Bruce Jenner. Bruce Jenner. It took a man to win the best woman award.
Look at them next to each other, though. Look at a picture of them next to each other. Dude, they doesn't look like girl and boy. I shit you not.
It looks like, well, I'm looking at a picture of them where Bill Gates is sitting with a purple sweater and
yeah, that one. That's exactly the one I was going to tell you to look at. They look like two men.
Yeah, they do.
That's crazy, dude. She looks like a man.
They actually look the same, kind of.
Kind of.
Yeah.
And they're always smirking when they said there's going to be a second wave, and they both smirked at the same time.
Well, Bill Gates is kind of creepy, though.
It's all good. That fool's going to rot in hell or whatever. He'll get what he gets, you know what I'm saying, eventually. I'm not trying to be like that. I'm just saying you can't do shit to people like that forever and then expect to be good the rest of their life or whatever happens. There's no way. There's got to be some justification to doing shit like that. You can't do that, dude. That's crazy.
Well, at the end of the day,
Inhumane.
He'll be at the pearly gates, and
you already know.
He'll have his day.
Yeah, all these people will.
So, yeah, but he's into that kind of stuff, man. That's weird.
That is weird, dude. That makes sense, though. I'm not second guessing that.
Yeah, me neither. That would be that. But why? I mean, you're just making computers. What this earth doesn't make. What you're in, that's what's strange.
They're trying to stop a virus for the body, but he can't stop one for his computer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The Internet Explorer is like the worst browser ever, right?
I would say so, probably.
Dude, it's full of viruses, man, and errors all the time.
Oh, fuck that. But then all the other ones, I don't. Or Microsoft Edge is okay, isn't it?
What is Microsoft Edge?
Microsoft Edge?
Oh, Edge. Yeah, I think so. I think it's okay.
I don't want to use Google because that's like Apple and all that shit, and they probably watch every single dang thing that you do.
Yeah, and because they try to cover it up because they're a private company, so they can do whatever they want.
Not sell your information. What the fuck?
I'd sell your information to like what though? I'm not saying I don't believe it.
Not like that. I'm saying like it's for those ads and stuff. That's how that's how they know.
Yeah, exactly. It's all ads. Like, why do you think like YouTubers get like kicked off of YouTube? Because they're not ad friendly. It's all about ads.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I'll see these guys that don't have ads, and then like some truthful stuff. And then you'll see guys that do tell the truth, but they have ads. And it's like, why do you put up with that shit, dude? It's like, I don't want to watch your video that's 20 minutes long and I'm watching 3 commercials in between. And I never even had commercials. And now all of a sudden there's these ads that are 10 seconds, 15 for YouTube. It's like, this is bullshit.
Dude, and you can't even skip them now.
No, you have to at least watch 5 seconds, or the other ones you have to watch 12. Dude, it's because it's turning, maybe too many people are not watching TV and watching that now.
Yeah, so they have to go and make money somehow, right?
Yeah, so they're just implementing the ads and all the bullshit. I don't even watch that crap, dude. I'm doing something when that crap comes on and I skip it right as soon as it's available. I get upset, dude. If If I get stuck on one of them, that's 1 or 2 minutes, and I'm busy doing something, and I can't change it. It's like, fuck, dude, I'll just tune it out.
Dude, and it's the fucking placement too.
Crap.
You'll be watching like a documentary on YouTube, and it's like he's getting into like the right like interesting part, and then he's like, boom,
Yeah.
here's a fucking Subway commercial ad for you that you can't skip. You're like, what the fuck?
And then it just takes you all off of everything, and then right when it comes back, you get back into it. But it's like, damn it.
Yeah, dude, I know. And you're like, shit, man. I was so into this shit. I was balls deep in this shit, and
And then it just took you right.
yeah, dude.
Fuck,
And
dude.
then,
All right, whatever.
and then you watch the second half
I'm
of the
telling you,
documentary or whatever, and then you're like, what the fuck did I just watch?
You just wasted time plus an ad or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5.
Yeah, bro.
I'm telling you, the more videos I've been watching over these last 6 months, the more ads have been getting added to what I watch. And I don't watch that much mainstream stuff. So it's like these motherfuckers doing it on purpose to try to piss me off so I don't watch this shit or what? It's like these videos never had ads before, and now I'm watching them and I'm having 3 ads per video. It's like, what the heck, dude?
That's a good point. Maybe they are putting ads on your videos to make you stop watching them, like to get you away from watching.
That's
these
what I
type
was
of videos.
thinking for
Yeah.
sure. But it's not going to stop me. I'm going to keep listening. So fuck, they can do whatever they need to do.
Yeah, I know. I think, to be honest, I don't even think they fucking care if you buy their products or not. They just want you to watch the stupid ads.
It's the propaganda, dude. So eventually you see it enough times, you're going to want to buy that fucking thing. It's like, dude, get out of here.
Dude, I know.
I'm
It's
past
like,
all that. You could show me at 1,000,000. I don't need it. You know what I mean? I know what I need now. So,
dude, I don't need to fucking buy like 20 Gillette razors, my friend.
dude, I'd be looking at an electric bike, right? I was going to buy a new electric bike. And I
Yeah.
sold my old one, and I realized that I didn't need one. There's no point. I don't need to spend $1,000 on a bike. I got way more important shit to buy. And even though it's super cool,
Yeah.
but I'm searching for this specific electric bike. You can't even really find it, but you have to specifically search for this bike in order for it to come up.
Yeah.
After I'm looking at it, I'm it's almost like it's reading my fucking mind, dude. It's like I was about to buy it and I was so close to buying it. And I was like, no, never mind. After I said never mind, I was getting ads up to Wazang for fucking that exact electric bike. Like, what the fuck, dude? It's not even spelled electric. It's spelled Lectric. Electric.
Yeah,
So it's ridiculous. That's when I was like, this is bullshit, dude.
Yeah, that's like the same thing, man. I was like looking up whiskeys and things like that, and then it was like I like looking, dude. This was fucking crazy, right? Because I'd be watching an American video like Ben Shapiro or something, right? And then it's like, and it's a Czech ad too. It's written in Czech, and it's like Tullamore Dew, you know.
What?
Yeah, for a good time, buy Tullamore Dew. Yeah, I was like, well, I'll have a good time, but I don't want Tullamore Dew. I'm watching an American video, and he's saying it in Czech, right? I understand the Czech, so I'm just like, yeah, have a good time, drink Tullamore Dew.
It threw you off real quick.
Yeah, and I was like, okay.
Wait, you watch Ben Shapiro though?
I only watch him a few. I don't say like, when I say I watch them, it's not like I watch them religiously. I watch a video here and there.
I don't. I only watched a couple. He's got some good points. He's about the Republic. That's cool. He's not like 100% on the right track, but
yeah, I prefer that Michael Knowles. He's part of the Daily Wire too. I like him too.
I'll have to look at him. I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, Michael Knowles, Michael J. Knowles.
There's a black guy you should look at. He's really good, dude. Let me tell you his name. He talks all the he's pretty smart. I like him. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna tell you.
I'll open up.
Yeah. See another ad, dude. I wasn't even watching anything. Get out of here.
I'll open up YouTube when you tell me his name.
It's just got to come up. Hold on 1 second. It should be coming up. What? Oh, here it is. Anthony Brian Logan.
Anthony Brian Logan.
Black guy, all about the Republic, the true Constitution, smart guy. And he lets you know stuff that other people aren't telling you. He's pretty good.
I'll have to watch him. I haven't heard of him.
I didn't either, but because when you start watching videos that are similar, like to the truth or whatever, or people are speaking the truth, and other videos pop up, you watch that. If you think that person's dumb or you don't relate to it, you watch somebody else. Well, he just popped up, and I watched him one day. I was like, oh, this guy's pretty good.
Oh, he looks pretty good.
Smart dude. And it's good because he's black. So he's on our side, or humanity. I don't want to say our side, humanity's side, not
Yeah,
just one side. So that is a big deal. That's a good thing, you know.
I like his tag. It's common sense conservative. I think a lot of people lost common sense after a while.
I'm telling you, you'll like this guy. I'm pretty sure you'll like him a lot.
I'll have to look into him. He looks interesting.
And he has a lot of good videos. And it'll keep you updated on what's going on out here every day. They
Does he
they,
li-
they
does he
huh?
does he only make videos or does he live stream?
No idea. But I
Uh,
know that what I was gonna tell you that sucks. Will getting closer to crazy times is they didn't charge any of those officers for or they only got one for the Breonna Taylor thing, but I already knew that was gonna happen.
yeah, I read something a little bit on CNN that everybody's going crazy. Like there's a lot more
But
rioting.
why? You should expect that. It happens throughout history. Why is it gonna change now? So you're gonna riot and loot and do all that stuff? You should be smarter than that.
You should rise up above that.
Exactly.
Uh,
Or if you really want to get crazy, then get everybody together as far as all the United States and let's take over the government. Straight up.
yeah, I mean that's in the Constitution that it's available to do that.
If
Uh,
if the powers are abusing, you know what I'm saying, which they
yeah,
have been for a long time, then it's just not enough people are awake, dude. If enough people are awake, they couldn't do a fucking thing.
no, and I think a lot of people don't want to do like a thing. You know what I mean? I
Yeah, I
think
know that.
I don't mean that in a bad way. I think like people just don't want to. I mean, people just don't want to do this shit. You know what I mean? Like people just want to like
Live
live.
in their bubble.
Yeah.
They want to live in their bubble. They don't want their bubble to be deflated. If it gets deflated, they're gonna cry, whine. They won't know what to do, dude. That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't care how upset my mom has been getting me, and I'm telling her all this and preparing her, and they've been preparing somewhat for some things just to protect yourself as far as wealth or whatnot. You've worked so hard for it. Why not at least protect from in something for sure? Like I don't know. But think about the people that don't know a thing, and then if a lot of shit happens, think about, dude, they're gonna lose it, dude.
Dude, they're gonna crash.
They're gonna crash. They're not gonna even know how to function.
Yeah, exactly. And what's gonna happen is once that crashes, right? Uh, how are you going to get back up out of that, right?
Unless you were preparing beforehand.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, right? So that's like if these people on the left or whatever, these groups and crazy radical groups want to destroy the whole system, well, that's good and all, and it's interesting conversation maybe, but what are you going to do after you, unless you don't have a plan or have anything backed up or any kind of a plan B or C or even D? I mean, if you crash the whole system, how are you gonna build it up again to something functional? And two, how are you gonna get it back up where it's even better than the system that before, right?
Yeah.
So if you loot and like destroy your whole town and city, and you're like fighting for social justice, could be fine, right? But then what are you gonna put in place of it? I mean, you're just gonna have like rubble everywhere in your town, or are you gonna build something like that's 10 times better than before? Like if you're fucked up and you don't like, for example, like a certain shop, let's say like Vaughn's or something, and you blow up all Vaughn's, well, are you gonna make like a Vaughn's 2.0, or like a like a super cool supermarket that's even better? Or you know what I mean? Like what do you think is the plan of what you see? Like how how do you see any kind of improvement from what's been going on, or
The
if
only
any?
improvement, I guess, only not from what they would do or whatever, or the only improvement I would see by getting those people out of office, even if we went backwards
Mhm.
in, even if we went backwards in, and we had to rebuild or whatever, it'd still be better because you weren't having those people killing people and just. I think as a whole society would work so much better, even if you went backwards a little bit to rebuild. Don't you think?
Well,
You
what
have
what do
these
you mean?
people influencing you and running your life and telling you what to do, and putting you in these predicaments where you become broke or poor or homeless, or you have to depend on the government who then kills you because of what they give you, or just all that stuff.
I think that it. Well, what do you mean by taking a step backwards? Like going away from?
Like if you take the powers away from the government, they shut down all
Yeah.
the companies and everything, like everything that they run everything that builds this world. So if you take all that away, you got to have people implemented in order to rebuild it. Well, it would take
Sure.
some time, I would think, in order to get that correlated to have the process begin. It would take time. I would just think.
Well, yeah. Well, I agree. But what about who would you? So if you took all the people out of the current people out of this out of power now, and for example, and you wanted to put new people in, for example, what would be the hypothetical question is what would be like your, because I don't have the answer to it. I mean, who would you put into these powers uh positions of power, or if you wanted to rebuild and put different people, or
I don't,
who?
you know what it would be, and I'm not one to say because I'm not a leader or anything like that, and I'm not one to tell people. I don't want to be in charge of people. I would say I would think people would need to work together, and then you start finding and realizing who's good at what, and then maybe someone's necessarily in charge of the project, but not a leader. There's no leader. Everybody works together. That's how it's supposed to be. What the fuck?
Yeah, so you would,
I'm not saying kumbaya and shit like that. It would
I
never be like that. Not everybody would get along, but
yeah,
some order and shit, but not people policing people. What the fuck?
right.
It's
Yeah,
ridiculous.
so you would have like a I had a word for it. Like you would have like a people coming together in a way that said like, okay, the decisions would be made from an individual point of perspective, or like a collective part of
It would
the.
have to be collective, right? Because if you did it individual, then you're not including people, and then it's kind of dictatorship or whatever. I would say.
Right, it's kind of exclusionary, right? Because
Right.
you wouldn't have any kind of like a.
I'm just saying you all vote like, okay, you can see this guy works well with his hands or cuts wood really well or can build stuff well. Okay, then you get other guys that maybe he's the best. You just notice that. You just notice that with people. Whether you do construction or not, you just notice this guy has a skill for that. So you start putting all those people together and they work together and they do what they got to do. And there's no, it's not, you're not working for money and shit. We're working as a community to feed each other and food and all that. Like we work together. Some stuff that they used to do back in the day that until we've gotten taken over by these people, that they've changed so much that people, that's why people are so divided now, man. You see it every day.
That's a good point. I think I think the system. I think if you want to improve the system, is I don't know. I have no idea. But I think
I don't
my
want to pick
opinion
them
about it.
really, but
No, my opinion about it is that I would have a society where all people had a chance to instead of like going to work from 9 to 5 and working these cubicles and things like that, that we should live in a society where, because everybody has some kind of talent, right? I think that's what your point is. You would find out who has what skills and where you could put these people to utilize their skills to the max, to their full potential.
what the
I think we
government
should,
does anyways. They just take advantage of you and work you to death.
right, and then they tax you. Right? They don't even allow people to fulfill their full potential as human beings.
That's what I'm saying. You're not working for anything. You're working hard to get things that really don't even matter. Yet, if you knew that you were like you really had to put in the effort because you knew you were going to eat that food because you knew if you put in the effort it would come out better compared to not doing that. Don't you think that would be more valuable than getting paid?
For sure, because that what you're doing is adding concrete value to the society that you're living in.
Exactly, and that's what we do not do.
No, definitely not.
Farmers
Because
do all that. Those guys do all that stuff.
yeah, farmers, but see that's the thing, right? Because the the society, especially the US society, is that the mainstream thing is that everybody has to work in some kind of office building. Not everybody, of course not, but that's like kind of like what do you call it, the unwritten standard, right? Like that's the norm, as they say. And then everybody who falls out of that is kind of outliers, right? So like, you like photography. Well, that doesn't fit the mainstream, what you're supposed to do. Go to job, wake up 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, or longer, right? Have weekends off. That's kind of like the basic package of what the work week is, right? That's most jobs are like that. But the difference is that the job that you're in, you make a valid point, is that the job that you're in, yeah, you get money, you get a salary, you get all that. But if you're, but you're not working towards something that adds value to the society that you're living in, and you're actually kind of losing your potential of what you can do. Maybe you are the best guy at chopping wood, but if you're working at an office building, as an accountant, well, you just lost all your skill, right? Because your skill is underappreciated or not appreciated at all. Like farmers, who appreciates farmers, really?
Not a lot of people, except for, I guess, when you realize you don't have any food and it comes from them.
Yeah, see, that's exactly what this. I think a lot of people don't realize that the food that you get in the grocery store has to be planted and harvested
That's
by
what I'm
people.
saying. They're disconnected from all that. It's the same thing for my business, dude. If I go give you my product, they're so disconnected from how much time and effort I put into and how hard it is to make it that good. Like they don't understand. And then it's nothing to them. It's a lot to me. And it's not even because of what it is. It's because of the time, the effort. And I know how hard it is or you got to make it a lifestyle. And these other people who don't care, bro, they could care less.
Of course, they just want the product, right?
Exactly.
They don't care where the product comes from or how or what the really. I to be honest, what's the disconnect is they want good quality products or the best quality products, but don't understand what it takes to actually have that best product. It takes a lot.
Or for the lowest price. Like, you're a joke, dude. You go pay then way more for garbage weed or whatever you want to get. Go pay way more and get blown out, like not taking care of stuff. I don't know. Just it doesn't even have to be related to that. It could be a shirt or anything else,
Yeah, sure, exactly. Like again, like you're trying to, but then it could be overinflated, right? Like to be honest, what's the difference between like a Hugo Boss white plain T-shirt and a Hanes T-shirt, other than price?
Probably just the tag and the logo.
Right. So you're just paying for the logo, basically the name, right? The quality is similar. It's cotton. What Hugo Boss uses different cotton than Hanes? No, it's the same product.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
But in both cases, right, people don't necessarily know that Hanes gets, made in Bangladesh, or, Hugo Boss gets made in Malaysia, in these places that, where they get, whether it's a good company or bad company, that's a different issue. But they don't know where those materials come from. They just know that it comes from, J.C. Penney's or, some kind of.
Yeah, not the research behind it to where it really comes from.
Right, exactly.
Not saying I do on everything I buy, but I'm getting smarter now. So, you get smarter, you're more looking, just like how I'm looking into what the agenda they're pushing. Okay, so you're pushing that agenda. If I somewhat believe it, before I believe anything you say, I want to see what you believe in or else, or the other topics that you touch on and talk about in your perspective before I even think anything. Other people just believe something because it correlates to one thing that they said, and then they don't even listen to anything else that a person says again, and they're backing that person up. It's like, you're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, or they just listen to the talking points, right? And then so you listen to the talking points, and then that becomes your whole belief system,
Or what makes them feel better, I guess. Maybe that's what's wrong with America. You need to make people feel good all the time.
Yeah, well, that's a
I'm
good
serious.
argument. I know, that's a good point. I mean, and I think a lot has to do with social media, because think about it, right? It's so great if you're on Instagram and you take a photo, you want people to heart your photo because you get that cortisol kind of like, or endorphins in your head, not cortisol, endorphins in your head. Like it makes you feel good. Like, oh, people are liking my things,
Yeah, 100%. I would lie if I and I don't even care about Instagram, but I would lie if I took a good picture and not like plan to take the picture, but got a good picture and wanted to post it up, and then some girl liked it that I didn't even know, but was like maybe liked me or something, and you're like, oh, I didn't know this girl was interested or whatever, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it makes
like you'd be lying if you said that was not the case.
of course, right? It makes you feel good, right? You feel good. You're like, oh wow, she took the time to actually kind of like the photo that I like, and she likes it too. It feels good,
But
right?
then after a long time, you realize that that's all a scam because it's just making you feel good and you're not getting much out of it. Or when you have a chick at the time and you have it, what's the even point? Well, you don't need to let people know you're with somebody. What are you going to show her off? Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to do. But I'm saying you should see how many people take they live their daily life on Instagram. Like you're pathetic.
Yeah,
I
they
don't
have that.
care what you're doing every couple hours, nor do I care about the picture of you that I just saw a year ago. You didn't change that much, so I don't know what the fuck the deal is.
I guess I think people just get addicted to it. They get
Yeah,
addicted to that rush of being liked,
yeah,
because
I agree.
I'm the same way. I mean, it's not like it's like if I post something on Facebook, I tell myself I don't care if people like it or not, but in the back of my head, I'm still thinking at least come on, one like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. You know what I mean? And then if you get none, or the funniest thing is you could post something that you know is not like the best and you'll get 100 likes, and then you post something that's good or positive and you'll get 10.
Yeah,
That's when you know the world's fucked up.
sure. Yeah,
100%.
100%. But then then the negative part of that is like some people
Oh
take like,
shit, dude.
yeah, yeah.
Protests erupt as after deputies shoot and kill man in San Clemente.
Oh shit.
Oh shit. That just happened 54 minutes ago.
Where are you looking at?
Dude, shit's about to get gnarly, dude.
San Clemente.
On YouTube, protests erupt after deputies shoot, kill man in San Clemente. CBS Los Angeles News.
San Clemente riots, let's say.
That just came on. Oh, damn.
Oh, sanclemente.com. Well, that's probably not good. That's not what I want. Oh,
Unless the people did something. If they did something, then I won't feel bad. But if they just shot the person and they were protesting, that'd be crazy.
I heard that there was a uh ooh, there was a somebody some police officers got shot or something.
Where?
Uh in Portland, I think, or Seattle. There's like a war on the streets. Footage of
Yeah.
fatal shooting shows altercation leading to a man's death. Oh,
What the hell? COVID
video.
sniffing dogs used at Helsinki airport. How the fuck are
Dude,
they going to smell out COVID? That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
dude, you know that's bullshit, bro.
That's bullshit. That would never hold up. If someone was smart enough, they would know that's not possible.
Dude, that's some bullshit to get them to sniff you for drugs, bro.
You think so? Maybe.
You think
Oh yeah, maybe.
if they're sniffing you, right?
Yeah, maybe you're right. That would never work. These people are full of shit. Tell me some bullshit like that. That's crazy, dude. Look at all this garbage, dude. This is nothing but propaganda.
From the Guardian, Corona dog used to detect coronavirus. Come on, get out of this. Come on.
You see that?
Yeah, like the Guardian. There's a video.
What country is that in though?
Let's see. Hold on. I don't want to play it, but let's see. Because I'll get copyrighted. I don't want to get copyrighted. But yo, Helsinki, Finland.
Holy smokes. I don't even think that's possible though, that they can even do that.
No way, bro.
I know that a dog can smell blood from 50 years old though in a house. That's why they could take them in and they could see if there's blood still there, like a stain.
Yeah, sure, sure.
But a virus, I don't think they can smell a virus, dude.
Dude, if they could smell a virus, they would die.
That makes sense.
they would die because they would be airborne, right? So if they're sniffing air particles or virus particles in the air, they would
They would
die.
say no, then it just affects humans.
Yeah, exactly. This is just a human disease.
Wait for the cop out.
Yeah, exactly. The justification of it, right?
Hey, this would be cool too if we went through YouTube sometime and talked about some of these videos or something.
We can. We could do
Like
that.
a day, like, well, okay, today this is going, or we just do a special episode, or we talk about what's going on today or news or whatever. That always helps people out too.
Like a reaction video kind of
Yeah, that'd be
thing.
cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, so we could do that for the next time. Maybe we
Well,
can.
that's what a lot of people are doing, and like you could probably blow up with that if you do well, and then I hope you do well. You know, I know it's your show. I'm just saying, if I hope you do well, then who even knows what's possible?
You're on board, man. So yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. So
Just think about
maybe
it. Just giving you a suggestion. I just thought about it right now.
that's a good suggestion. So maybe we can pick a video, like a special video. It doesn't matter, some video, and then we can have like a critique of it or something. We could talk about it.
Yeah, because then we could talk about everything. Like if say we were talking about the San Clemente thing, you could talk about like what they did wrong. You could talk about if the people were in the right. Then you could just every aspect of everything.
Yeah, different perspectives about it.
That'd be cool.
That's a good idea, man. That sounds good.
Well, it looks
Hey,
like the fires are slowing down though a little bit,
that's good. That's good. So,
thankfully.
dude, man, I read the news. You know how depressing that shit is, man. Like, uh, I read about it. California's on fire. They got COVID. You got the elections. You got shootings. You got battlefields. You got war. You got all types of lockdowns, restrictions. I mean, it shut down everything. It's fucked up over there, man.
It is, dude.
Dude, how I wonder how it's gonna. How is the my biggest question about it is how is the U.S. gonna get out of this shit and bounce back and be improved and not worsened? And that's just a rhetorical question. I don't think anybody has the answer to that.
No, because nobody even knows what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. It's made up every day, right? Every day is something different.
It's gonna be. I don't. I think there's two things. Either it's gonna crash, and then people are gonna be really screwed, or they're gonna pump it up again, and then they're gonna implement some new coin, and then nothing, like it won't go to gold or silver, or gold and silver will raise. It'll raise, but it won't go crazy. You know, like they say.
I can imagine it's gonna be. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. That I think the next 2 years will define how the whole world is going to. I think it already has. The whole world has already changed in these 6 months. It's changed a lot,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be interesting how we're gonna get out of this. What and how we're gonna. I think it'll be. I want to be optimistic and say that people will survive. It'll go away, but what's going to be left in its path, man, we'll see.
that's what we could talk about in 2 years.
Yeah, for sure. That's going to be a conversation for another day, my friend.
Hopefully, though. Hopefully, I just hope it goes back somewhat to normal, so that I can fly somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'll come over there, but just saying.
I think once that it kind of stabilizes the situation, it definitely will. I think I think it'll stabilize, and once the restrictions get lifted from air travel, which I believe they will, or I hope they will, that I think that once people can freely travel again, wherever they want to, I think you'll start to see some kind of normalcy. I think
That'd be cool, huh?
that would be cool. Going
I
back to
hope so.
normal now. So, but I think should we wrap this up for tonight, man?
Yeah, no problem. That sounds good. That's perfect.
Yeah. So I think for next time, I mean, watch a video, for example, and let's have a conversation about a video, man.
We should talk about Theta too and stuff like that.
We can, but I have to do that offline first, so I have something to say.
Yeah.
About it.
No, I know. I'm just shooting it out there.
Sounds good, man. Hey, listen, it's always
What day?
good and a pleasure to talk to you, Drew.
Likewise, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no worries. What day is best for you? What day is?
It doesn't matter. Shoot, we've got months of chilling, I'm sure, right now.
Yeah, for sure.
You could
Well,
just if tomorrow works, that's cool. If you want to hit me up in the morning, or I'll hit you up in the morning and go from there, that's cool.
that sounds good. Yeah. So, yeah, we can shoot for tomorrow, and we can see. We can maybe if you have if you have a suggestion of some video or something, just send it to my email.
Let me look tonight. I watch videos all day long, staying up to date
Yeah.
on stuff. So I'll find something tonight, and then I can either send it to you on WhatsApp or whatever, or I'll just
Yeah.
have it. Or yeah, I should send it to you before, so that way you get it and you can talk. So let me look, and then I'll find some tonight, and I'll send it to you.
Yeah. So if you find some kind of video that like piques your
Or you
interest,
find one and I find one, and then we both
okay,
bring one to the table, and then we both critique it.
that sounds like a plan, my friend.
So then we both have, that'll make a good show compared to just one topic.
Yeah, that's a great show. Well,
Okay.
I think we had a great conversation today, man.
That was the only thing is it just I don't know. I kind of like that, even though we talked about somewhat of a lot, but kind of a lot what's going on. But even though somewhat all over the place, but it's still kind of good because we still kept it steady in pace. It wasn't just from one topic to the next.
No,
We
and we kind
finished
of
whatever we talked about.
yeah, and we elaborated on it a little bit. Yeah,
So that's good, right? And that's what most of these guys do, anyways. They don't. Most of these guys now that I'm seeing that I'm watching that have lots of viewers and stuff, they're just pretty much talking, dude.
of course, they're just having a conversation like us.
Exactly. So it's just
Yeah,
whether you like them or not, or like what they say.
yeah, exactly.
So we're good.
We're fine, man. We're solid.
All right.
All right, man.
So
So
have a good rest of the night then, and then I will talk to you tomorrow in the morning.
sounds good. Have a good rest of the day. Stay
Will do.
safe. Be
I will.
healthy. Yeah. So, all right, man. Thanks for coming on.
You're gonna wrap it up?
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. So that was a edition of the First Division podcast. Everybody, thank you for listening. Drew, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, like as always. And talk to you real soon.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, man. Peace.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.